right, let's go.
Distant Memories 96.
You are now entering a world of video games, nostalgia, and survival horror. Something has crawled out of the dark. Not all evil is human. Welcome to the Distant Memories 1996 podcast, officially known by fellow survivors as Distant Voices. Joining me this evening is once again Survived Combatants. Please do make yourselves comfortable now. You are safe in our save room, a place with plenty of supplies and ink ribbons needed to save your precious progress and continue on your journey into the madness outside this door. You have made it this far, that of which I can see now that you have arrived here, so I hope you enjoy your stay. Survivors are always welcome here. Thank you for joining me this afternoon and hope you enjoyed the show, along with all the future planned shows yet to come here on this channel. Today's show we will be discussing the recent Tokyo Game Show, which took place in Japan from September 20th to September 23rd of 2018. I'm now going to bring in Survived Combatants.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 2 of Distant Voices. Once again, here we are.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So, we are going to jump right into today's topic at hand, and that is the Tokyo Game Show, which just wrapped up. So, our first topic for the podcast concerning Tokyo Game Show is Marvin and Claire.
Yes, with the TGS, they have not only showed us a lot of stuff for Devil May Cry, they have showed a huge amount of stuff for Resident Evil. Now, they showed us a story trip. Basically, gave us not only this more story to Leon and Ada, but also Claire. So one of the most popular things that people like to talk about is that actually Claire gets to interact with Marvin. So that's basically everything right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
I thought it was interesting what they did. They, they showed Leon first, and they showed how Leon met Marvin and, their whole discussion and everything like that. Then they showed how, Claire meets Marvin and their discussion and what they have, right there in the main hall. It looks like they're changing the lore a little bit. I almost get the feeling that Claire now is the person that starts first. And then Leon is, second because, did you get that? What did you think about that?
Okay. So here's my theory. Marvin and Claire. I think that they're trying to mix both the A and B scenario because we all know that Leon talks to Marvin first game. And then in the Claire campaign, she also talks to Marvin. And this is only for the A scenario. I know for the B, it's a bit different. But I think they're trying to fit in like, okay, what happened to Chris? Or she's gonna start asking Marvin like, what happened to Stars? What happened to Chris and everything else after the mansion? So that's my theory. He does look like he's in a healthy state for what he is
Yeah.
at that point when he talked to her. Um, but I think that yes, after she gets into the OPD, she will be talking to Marvin. Um, and this is when I guess Leon will be in the garage. I guess at this point.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's really interesting. I can't wait to do the whole Marvin thing.
No, I know, absolutely. I think they're doing some really interesting stuff. I like that um, Marvin says different things. Like, if you remember the Leon demo, he meets Marvin and he asks him, how did all this happen? Kind of thing. And Marvin said, no clue. But then when Claire asks him the same question, he says, we have multiple theories, or there's like, multiple theories, but, no real like conclusive reason, like, as to like what's going on. Um, and then he just said that the place is like filled with zombies. um, so I thought that was interesting, like that, and just like the original game. I remember Leon meets Marvin, and then Marvin talks about, how like a couple months ago there was this incident involving zombies, and then when Claire meets Marvin in the original, he goes into greater detail, saying that Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine and stuff were wrapped up in this incident that happened involving zombies. So like, right. Um, I so I like that, like they did that again, like much like the original did the whole thing, and then now this game does it too. It's interesting to see them carry on. Um, Someone's saying that we might need to get the mic up on the other guy.
Yeah, I think I like it. Get oh, what was it? The slider up a bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. Audio 2 or whatever it is. I know you have Max.
Yeah, I do. I have it maxed out pretty well. Let me see.
Oh shit! All right.
Is your mic good?
I believe so now.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, the Marvin and Claire thing. Like I said, I like the stuff that Leon and Marvin, are doing, and then I like the stuff that they're doing with Claire and Marvin. So you think that they're mixing the two A and B scenarios together with that?
No, I'm thinking that they're mixing both case scenarios, and I.
Oh, okay.
It's like Claire went to Marvin for like, because that's why they scrapped one. Well, that was one of the reasons why they scrapped 1.5 is because they didn't really like they couldn't connect it with the first game, so they scrapped Elsa and put Claire Redfield, Chris Redfield's sister. So of course she's looking for her brother, and you know one of the living officers, Marvin, would know where Chris is, but he doesn't know. Let's see. At this point, I think Chris went to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, he was already gone.
Yeah, he was.
He was long gone. I think he was one of the first ones to leave. Roughly.
Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I think he was the first and only one because Jill stayed back.
Yeah.
And so did Barry.
Yeah, to some extent, because he was in Resident Evil 3, so he must have stayed back.
I think that's if you don't jump off the bridge. Am I right?
Yeah, I forget. I always forget what that was.
Which one triggers the Barry ending?
I thought it was. Yeah, I think it is the jumping off the bridge because I pushed Nemesis off the bridge in Resident Evil 3, and I didn't get the Barry ending.
Yeah.
So it must be the other one. It's kind of crazy that they would leave that up to like that one scene.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so I again, I really like what they're doing with Marvin. He's cool.
And
Claire's,
they gave him a new screenshot as well, where
yeah, you know what?
looks
That's interesting. You bring that up. That's a good thing to bring up. Yeah.
he looks like he's walking. Well, from what I can see from this picture, of course, Marvin's holding a shotgun. He's um he's holding a shotgun. He's limping as well, so like he's not in the best of state. But from from this angle of where he's at, it kind of looks like he's in the what's it called? The first the first floor,
Yeah, the first floor hallway.
which it it which like yeah, there's always the first floor, but I'm saying on the left side of the left door instead of the now mechanical door. It's the actual door where you also have the item box in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I wonder what's happening in that picture because that might be a new cutscene.
Yeah, yeah, it might be new. I almost look at those sometimes like with those images as a um like a production image, almost like an advertising kind of thing.
Actually, no, I don't. I think that's the second floor.
Oh right, because the liquor's on the.
The exit door, which would lead to downstairs where you actually found Marvin. No. That would lead to the uh actually that would lead to where uh the the metal doors
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it might have been on the second floor then. I don't know.
Oh, I got a theory on this.
Go ahead.
What if this picture was or supports my theory of the playing the video game? What if we actually get to play as Marvin, limping to get to the front hall, and then where we meet up with Leon?
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Have to pull him out. Dude, that'd be sick if we were able to play as when we meet up. And it's almost like playing as Brad Vickers in uh, Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, we all lead up to this guy, but
I love that picture though. I thought it was like such a cool picture.
Simo says, I want to see more police officers. It'd be good to know what that David Ford was like. David Ford, he sounds familiar.
Uh,
Isn't he the I
was
know I've heard of him before.
well, hold on. David was the one that we surmised that could be the guy that in the trailer when he gets killed by the liquor. Um,
Yeah, that's right. He was the other guy that Elliot talked about.
right. So that might be him and not like remember in the first trailer that they ever showed, or maybe it was the second one. They showed a guy getting killed by a liquor, and
Yeah.
that very well could be David. I don't know. But no, I agree, Simo. Yeah, it would be interesting to see more of the officers because it looks like the way they're telling the story here is, Leon arrives in Raccoon City and mostly everybody's dead, but there seems to be a few survivors and police officers still left in the RPD by the time he gets there, which is interesting because in Resident Evil 2, the original, everybody was dead.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Well,
was long dead.
so this is the guy that turned himself fertilizer. That's the dude.
Oh, that's David Ford?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Apparently, he began drinking and wrote in a diary of intention to kill himself. So that would mean he's the turning myself into fertilizer, dude.
Oh, the guy in the dark room, right?
Yeah.
I think.
knew he sounded. But,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's actually kind of weird that Elliot would say, Marvin, David, or no, David, Martin,
Yeah.
Come help me real quick.
Leading to believe that David was alive, I
Yeah,
guess.
David was still alive, and I'd highly doubt that. Like maybe in my Marvin theory, maybe David gets eaten while he's helping Marvin out
Hmm.
because he's limping and
Right. I mean, because you need to kind of think about, when Marvin got bit, when he got hurt.
shit. He
I don't think he was out on the street, right? Like, he wasn't out on the street. I think he was.
no, he was in the RPD, but he
Yeah.
got hit during. I'm gonna say, okay, when did File 2 take place? Because it happens after File 2, but before Resident Evil 3, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because he was infected for a good day.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Good couple days.
Um, yeah, Outbreak, like 1 and 2, I remember, but that game added so much as far as, like, extra lore and
Yeah.
move dates around. It's hard to take,
Maybe,
remember when they take place.
They'll actually explain it when he actually got bit. Because I highly doubt it takes that long. But it is a pretty minuscule bite.
Right. And
He might be able to.
the simple fact that he got hurt and he's been holding on this whole time
Yeah.
kind of does say that, maybe it wasn't as much of a bite. Maybe it was, or the attack wasn't as badly as it could have been. So that's why maybe the virus is slowly working through his system instead of it being like a huge, like, chunk out of his, body or something like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. I love that they're exploring the idea of keeping Marvin alive a bit longer because, like I said, it's like you play the original Resident Evil 2 and you go to the RPD and you meet Marvin. He's pretty much, dying near death, and then he locks the door, and then pretty much soon after that he pretty much dies, I would say, because the next time you see him, he's dead. Whereas this game, he's alive for a good while, and Leon explores stuff, and I know that that's when when Leon's in the library, he calls him and he has to tell him something important that he sees Claire. So
Yeah, it's Claire that's there. Which actually, I have discussed this with you. I'm going to be really bad if it's Claire that ends up killing wow. That it's Claire
right,
that ends up killing Marvin.
right,
Because like at this point, Marvin has already helped out Leon so much. Telling him everything. Giving him
yeah,
the boost that he needs. So at this point, when Leon killed, I already emotional as fuck because in the first game it was like, well, shit, he turns, just take out the fucking shotgun, pump him in the head. No, for this one, it actually might there might be a cutscene after you kill Marvin.
oh yeah. No, I expect a cutscene, obviously, when Marvin is turning into a zombie or becomes a zombie, and then I expect one afterwards. Just because, the way that they're telling this game's story, the way that they're, building the world, this time around, it's a much deeper, darker, more, involved experience, for the player. And I absolutely think that, they're going to treat Marvin's death like very serious, like kind of thing. It's going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, I can't even think of that fucking death.
yeah, it's going to be gut wrenching. Although Leon didn't, know Marvin as much, it's like it's that whole police thing where it's like, you know, we're both officers, we both work in the same building, and already, I have to shoot, you know, someone who could have, been potentially, a former coworker or friend, and whatnot. So it's gonna be really, really deep. um, we know that they're not doing, I don't think, the 1.5 thing, which is keeping him alive. That was cool. I like that they did that, but I like what they're doing here too. And they kind of are doing the 1.5 thing by keeping him alive a bit longer, so that's cool.
Yeah. See the but yeah, that's basically my take on it. I think that Claire actually um Claire gets to talk to him and talk about the events, what
Hmm.
happened with Chris. Because they didn't do it in the trailer, but um I know that it's going to be extended, and we're going to talk about an extended Claire scene little bit later. I know that.
Right.
But yeah, if you're ready for the next subject.
Zemo says, yeah, it'd be right to kill him off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, Leon and Claire, they're not infected, but Marvin got bit. He is infected, and they don't have a cure. So it's like, what are you going to do? You're kind of sadly, screwed. So sadly. So yeah, the next topic we can talk about and discuss is something that's very interesting. It was definitely much of a surprise to me. I'm sure it was to you to see, which was the fact that Capcom is keeping the same cinematic and iconic introduction from Resident Evil 2 in this new game. Um, from the whole Leon meets Claire, and then they find a police car, and they're riding downtown. I'm sure somebody in the back seat gets up, and the car crashes, all that good stuff. And how could I forget the classic, get down thing where she ducks and shoots the guy. So yeah, Survive. Go ahead. What did you
Oh
think about
yeah,
that?
yeah. You go ahead. Because I'm trying to look for a tweet that for a quote that I retweeted.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I was watching the trailer and you know just being totally floored at everything that they were showing us and everything, and then they were cutting to like very quick scenes of the opening segment to Resident Evil 2 remake, and I thought it was so freaking cool that they did the whole Leon finds Claire and then Claire ducks down. He tells her to get down and he shoots the zombie, and then they start getting in the car and then they're driving, and they briefly showed the Whitey Bite Me guy, the Whitey Bite Me zombie, barreling down the street in the 18 wheeler, and they didn't like show the whole scene, but they showed like a zombie in front of the truck, so that guy gets like totally smacked, by the truck. So I'm sure that's gonna be crazy. That's He just becomes part of the grill of the truck. They gotta scrape him off with like a shovel. That's gonna be nasty. And then that's how the truck crashes and everything like that, and then they get separated. And Leon tells Claire that much like the original game, that he's going to meet her at the police station. But it looks like in Claire's game, she gets there. I don't know. I think Leon gets there maybe first. I don't. I know we did talk about that, but
I have a theory.
because she said, "Oh, I'm sure he beat me."
Oh yeah, yeah. With that's I think oh wait, how could that? I don't know how that could happen if you know what? Fuck, how can that happen if she doesn't enter first or through the front door? Because they meet up right at the gate. So I don't know how that could work if she says, yes, you beat me to it. Like, yeah, no shit. He was the one that let you in.
Right. Um. Yeah, it's interesting to think about because that part I thought about too, and I was like, how are they telling this thing? Um. We know that there's two characters. Obviously, we know there's two campaigns.
Oh, I found the quote.
But how they're telling that is interesting. It's interesting what they're going to be doing with it. I kind of when I first watched the trailer, I thought that they were trying to say that Claire gets there first
Yeah.
and Leon gets there last. Because that's when she was like, I'm sure he beat me to it, meaning like maybe he meant to get there first and he didn't, all the way, get there all the way. I don't know. And for some reason in my mind, I could see Claire meeting Marvin first and then Leon meeting him second. But yeah, that does bring that whole thing up with like Leon meeting Marvin and then him calling uh Leon to come to the gate or the computer to look at the gate. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna.
Don't explain it in game, but at that point, it's pretty confusing of how she would not know that he's there. Because also they meet at the gate because in the second trailer
Mm-hmm.
have the helicopter the crash with the old Elliot with the Mario looking.
Oh, yeah.
Roasted me, yeah, I know.
Um.
I found the quote that I was talking.
Go ahead.
So this is from oh god, I am butchered his fucking name. Kazunori Kato.
Uh huh.
I fucking butchered the shit out of it. But he says, we are keeping key classic lines back. So some of the quotes people know and love, whether or not they're cheesy, we're keeping them as little tentpoles of the script to keep the reference of the original game alive. I'll send it to you. But yeah, I feel that's very interesting. That like, yeah, when we watched the trailer, he said to get down and
Yeah.
I'll meet you there. That also was another thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that scene kind of debunks my the Whitey Bite Me guy is in the gas station
Right.
because like the Whitey Bite Me guy has to be there to has to be in the truck to fucking cause the.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
what else was I? I know I was thinking of something big. Oh, where do you think Claire and Leon will meet?
When do you think they'll meet?
Yeah, because Leon first encounters the zombies after the sheriff gets his throat fucking ripped.
Yeah.
So,
He's like, I got this. I'm like, nope, you don't. You don't have anything,
I
dude.
got this. All around,
You do not have a damn thing. Cause yeah. Um.
that they'll meet in the gas station instead of
Like on the street.
yeah, like they
Cause remember they meet in Emmy's, the diner.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that they'll meet in the gas station?
I think they will. Yeah. I actually.
Instead of Emmys?
It's weird the way I think they're gonna do it, but it's cool. Like it's different. I think what they're gonna do is like Leon is gonna be driving into town, and then he's gonna meet up with the sheriff, and the sheriff's gonna get attacked, and then Leon is gonna shoot the zombie, and he's gonna be like, like what in God's name, what's going on, and um, and then Claire I think is gonna roll in momentarily, too, because she's in town looking for her brother, and then I don't know. I have a feeling they're gonna meet up like somewhere in there too, and Leon's gonna find Claire, maybe encountering a zombie that's around the um like the gas station, and then that's when he tells her to get down, and like then they jump in some kind of car. I don't know, like something like that.
Oh, Stino just said something. You reckon Sherry might be included, bro? How she got into the station? I already got a fucking weird thing. So, uh, damn, I basically made a lot of my fucking opinion of how this shit can play out. Like, um, but like they kept everything the same. Like that's I think that part of the trailer was for us, like the '98 fans, to say
Yeah.
like, oh, they actually brought that back. Like they haven't. It's still the same intro, just it's gonna be played out a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, in regards to Sherry, I think they are gonna do something. I'm not sure if it's gonna be something that's playable or if it's something that they're just gonna show in a cutscene. Oh God, if it's playable, I'm gonna be dead because
I have a reason
they're gonna put her in the
that.
school, but
I have a reason for that, and it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 topic. Yeah.
oh right, yeah, we are gonna get to that.
Yeah, we are gonna play.
So Simo, your question will get discussed. We're gonna talk about that further down in the list of topics, but we're getting to it, and there's a good reason why we're waiting.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
reason.
shit. Has to do with the thumbnail.
Right, has a lot to do with the thumbnail. It's a big hint. Um,
Um,
I love that they kept um, like the cinematic stuff and like the lines and stuff from the original game. I love Resident Evil One remake, but I know that there were fans that um, wanted the original lines or a lot of the original lines in there. But I kind of understand why they didn't use them. They were going for a really, you know, dark, realistic version of the game, and they wanted to, use that as a means of really getting things. In my opinion, I think they wanted to rebrand it. Like, you know what I mean? They made Zero and they made Resident Evil 1, and they wanted to continue making them kind of games. Like, they wanted to just keep with that, serious remake tone. So I don't think, Barry saying like a Jill sandwich, it would have broke, it would have broke I don't know, would have broke the serious tone.
yeah.
So that's why he kind of said, you'd fit nicely in a sandwich or, something like that. I still understood the joke. I thought it was, still there and in spirit. So I was okay with that. But I think also Resident Evil 1 is a very different game than Resident Evil 2. And what I mean by that is that the same dramatic lines and iconic lines from Resident Evil 1 are different than the lines from Resident Evil 2. So it does make more sense in Resident Evil 2 story and world and characters for them to still say the same thing. So, when Claire gets attacked by the zombie, it still makes sense for Leon to say get down, and everything like that. So I think that's also why they kept it in there, because the lines still made sense. So, but yeah, that was cool. So I can't wait to see what else, they kind of throw in there. I'm gonna throw this out there. Um, I would love it if they included. You remember in Resident Evil 2, the original, they had that crazy like jump cut cinematic opening with that song "Evil Eye."
Yes.
I hope they do something like that. I would love if they did that.
Ooh. I don't know if they actually would do that because
I know.
I always thought that the classic um, Capcom intro was fucking awesome, and then they would play the Resident Evil from like previous, like just watching the green cubes go back and forming the
The Capcom logo.
yeah. But I feel like they should do some like you know how Ubisoft did a lot of logo changes like for Turtles '07
Mm-hmm.
when they made that game, like all the turtles like was falling into the Ubisoft logo, and then Assassin's Creed did some good shit. I feel like they should do an intro for Capcom or for Resident Evil
Right.
style. But for the Evil Eye, um, like I've done it. It's my fucking intro.
Right, I know a lot. Yeah, it's
Um,
an iconic
I
thing.
feel like they could do an Evil Eye style. Um, and yeah, I feel like it would be very cool to see. And then we would yeah.
Simo says, I feel the remakes are more real compared to the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The originals are classics and they will always be classics. The remakes are made the way that they are made on purpose. They're purposely, serious and dark and much more realistic, and they try to really retell things and have things make sense and add a sense of realism, like even more so than what the old games did. So yeah, absolutely, it is absolutely how it is. Yes, makes you feel like you could be there. Yeah, which reminds me of if I had money, how many times have I said survived it? Like, I just want to build the mansion. Can I just build the mansion? Can somebody build the mansion? Like, for crying out loud! Like, there's some people out there with some money and they buy crazy, stupid things. Can I just see somebody build the mansion? That'd be great. Um, so our next topic is um, Ben. Um, Ben Bertucci. I forget his name. It's a
It's some Italian.
Yeah, it's an Italian name. I
Um, oh fuck, I'm gonna butcher it. Why are you gonna make me
It's all right.
fucking names?
It's a podcast. Just have fun with it. It's all right.
Okay. Um, Ben Bertolucci.
Bartolucci. Okay, I thought there was an L in there. Yeah. So
So,
go ahead.
let me explain what he's talking about. He So apparently there's a theory going that Ben is dead. He is already dead, and that the arm that you see when Leon picks up a videotape is actually Ben's hand. Because when you play the tape, or when he plays the tape, one, it does sound like Ben in the style he talks, and two, he sounds like he's a reporter. Now, who else is a male reporter trying to cover Umbrella? Ben.
Hmm. I wonder who.
So, and also like the hand, it's white. He looks like um, he looks like he's wearing, I think, a white shirt. Let me look at the trailer again. But I also see rubble. Um, Let me just check back on that real quick. I know what part I okay. So I'm at the part where he okay. So it's a white hand. It looks like he has like a white skinned arm. It looks like he has a bluish, whitish. It might be white, but because of the lights and stuff, it might be blue.
Yeah.
And it looks like he was holding a rock, like a fucking big rock. Um, Actually, what's that in the corner? It looks like an RPG map.
So that could just
And
have been an officer then.
no, because he has an investigator jacket. Here, let me show you the picture. Um, I'm gonna screen capture real quick. But but yeah, I actually do think he's not laying down, but he's like up against like what would you call those a column.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just save this to RE2 real quick, then and let me send it your way. Now I'm gonna explain what I see. So like I said, the white hand laying with the rock. On the bottom right, you can see an RPD badge, and then the jacket, brown jacket that he's wearing. That's an investigator jacket.
Oh right. I do see that. Holy crap, I missed that.
And they did change up like Ada's players, so I wouldn't be like you know I wouldn't be surprised if they changed Benson. I mean, come on, man, you gotta fucking deal. Like, come on. But yeah.
Ben. Now it'll be interesting. He's a character I'm wondering if they're actually going to, kind of show, because it's like I'm sure they will. But if he's dead, like, you know what I mean, like are they gonna show how he dies, or like what happens there? I don't know. That's interesting. I think that they showed that he's like already dead.
I think he's already dead.
Ben is dead. I could see Capcom like selling a shirt like that, just like on the shirt it just says Ben is dead. But what I want to know survived is if Leon is still gonna be pissed off at Ben. I don't know what his problem was, but he was like, I remember in the original game, he was like, all right, well, I'll say we leave him in there. I'm like,
yeah.
Wow, Leon, what did he do to you, man? Like, you were just pissed at this guy.
I think he tried to own up to Ada at that point. So, with with Ben being dead, I think that's why I asked, because there was a second tape. He was talking about G-Bars. Let me check it. He used it in the sewers. Yeah, he used it in the sewers. Yeah, we want to know about the G-Bars. And bam, he asked Ada like what she's after.
Mm-hmm. Simo said, what about the G monster? We obviously had Birkin, but that G monster. Yeah, that thing is...
Actually, I do have a theory of that.
That thing was creepy.
Last podcast, I said, there's a bit of a continuity here. In Leon's story, Ben dies due to the G monster. In Claire's campaign, Irons dies. I think Irons is gonna still die to the monster, and that's why they killed Ben off. So early. So yeah.
But it's interesting that like for the limited edition of Resident Evil 2, you get an art book, and the art book is written by Ben. So he must you gotta wonder what he was investigating. Was he investigating the incident in the Raccoon Forest, the cover up of, or potential cover up of, like the murders and the Raccoon Forest incident, like the stars, like who or what was he investigating? So that would be interesting to find out.
See, with all this, it's like Jesus Christ. Oh, dude, yeah. I can't wait to see that. To see the how do I can't wait to see like what they do with Ben in this one, because like I said, I'm agreeing with the theories. I think he's dead. But yeah.
Let me see. So do you want to go on to the next topic? Okay. The next topic was something that me personally I've been waiting for them to reveal. They've showed the game off, and they've shown some of the monsters, not really a whole lot. They showed off the zombies, and that's pretty much it as far as regular monsters. And then of course we have Mr. X and now William Birkin. But none of the other extra monsters. The liquor was kind of shown, but not really truly revealed. I don't know if they will show the liquor. I think they might wait to show people that, just because
I think they're not going to show them because liquor is a very very popular
Mm-hmm.
scene within Resident Evil 2. So I think they're just gonna wait till the 25th to actually reveal. Okay, this scene because it's supposed to create suspense, and if you just show it, then that just any suspense that yes fan.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah,
that's fine. They can keep that a secret. So with that said, they showed off the one um, enemy that I was really, interested in seeing and curious how they were going to do it, which was the Cerberus, which is the zombie dogs, and they did it in such a great way. Leon's just standing in the garage and he's listening to the recording from Ben, which well we hope is or think is Ben, and then boom, this dog you see him in the corner of the screen, you're like oh no, oh no, and then Leon just gets attacked by this zombified Doberman, and it's just oh my god, it was just so it was so gripping. It was just like oh my god, there's the dogs, and I hate the dogs. Like I love them in the game, but like as far as an enemy, but oh my god, I hate fighting them things. They're so fast, and no matter how many like times I try and aim up the shot or line it up and whatnot, like I'd still just be like I'd hate fighting them, and I couldn't wait for them to die. It's like yes, I can breathe again. The best thing against them would be the shotgun, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's what I always.
But I'm just like saying like with the old games like, and this is what I thought about like. The old game was a pre-rendered, fixed camera style survival horror game. This one is behind the shoulder, and it's free aim and everything like that. And if you're fighting multiple dogs, I mean, imagine 2 or 3 dogs running around you and you trying to shoot it. I mean, that's going to be such a pain. Whereas the old game, like you could almost use the camera to your advantage and just wait for them to just come running at you, and then you could kind of shoot all of them or one at a time as they came at you. So I don't know. This one they're going to be such a pain fighting. But what did oh, and then there was that other picture they showed of the dogs, like
Yeah, with the three dogs in the cages.
oh my god, that one dog in the on the I think it's in the middle of the picture. He looks like he's yelling at the other one.
Yeah, he actually looks like a T Rex in what's it called? In like Jurassic Park when he's standing on top of fucking whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Um,
He's like, this is my food. Go get your own.
yeah. In that picture, he actually looked um fresh, like freshly dead. Which I'm trying to look at his picture because that picture with the three dogs. That's definitely the basketball where we get out the Kendo gun shop. So I'm trying to find out who that dead guy is. I mean, it could be a random guy, but I don't want to say Dario because, like, of course it's not Dario.
Right.
I don't know.
But what did you think of the reveal of the dogs? Like, did you?
The reveal of the dog was amazing because it was the dog was like hunting him and shit, and then he just bam comes running at him.
Mm-hmm.
So
The eyes were all like white too, like they whited out the eyes.
yeah, well that's the kind of zombies that I like is when they have the milky white eyes.
Yeah.
Like zombies that have the regular like iris and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like them to look dead. Like I think Scorpion has the same eyes because he is dead.
Yeah.
But I always thought for zombies those were really cool to fucking show. Like
It's like they poured crazy glue over their eyes. They're all like milky and they're you can't really see them.
which I mean in the original game
Yeah.
His eyes are also milky. It's very low quality, but you can tell. Send it to you.
Simo says about spiders. Oh man,
Yeah, my best friend showed it
I
spiders.
I can only imagine
Yeah,
how those things look.
this is what I'm talking about. The original zombies, be wide eyed.
Let's say, yeah, yeah,
But
that's probably what they're going for, something like that.
overall, I think um the dogs were awesome. I mean, of course, they're the they're the staple, the zombie Doberman, you know. But I I like what they did.
Mm-hmm. I know you were saying that you kind of wish that they did more
Yeah,
types of dogs.
I
You were
wish
telling
they
me.
did. I wish that they did more species of dogs, like maybe a pit bull, maybe um, pit bull. Let's see, what other dogs? Oh, what was Chico from Friday? Chico,
Uh.
a or a terrier.
Uh huh.
Um,
I know in Resident Evil 6, actually no, in 5 and 6 they had different dogs.
yeah, they had oh, what are they called?
Greyhounds.
Adule. I know they're feral dogs. Oh, they're African wild dogs.
Okay.
So
But 6
but
had its own dog too. It was like it looked like a hound dog or something.
hold up, give me a second. RE6. Let me check that. Yeah, they kind of look like a beagle,
Yeah.
which that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like fucking zombie beagle.
I hated the dogs in 6. Like I know, you know, like oh my god, I did not like fighting them things. They scared me. I did not like them. They just had a look about them and the way they moved. I was like, oh my god. So I like that the dogs are back, and I knew they would be. I mean, I know they were waiting, but I was curious about what they would look like, and I was just like I could not wait. I've seen so many zombies. I was so pleased. I wanted to know what kind of detail they were going to do with these things, and they didn't let up. I mean, it's almost like an original version of the original artwork. Like you got the rib cage bone popping
Yeah,
out, and
I actually have the download. Um, but overall, like I do like the design of the zombies. They are different. If you look at each, like uh, some of them have two eyes. In the picture that we were talking about, three zombies on the left, it looks like a piece of skin was growing over right eye for the dog.
yeah,
Um, so we're gonna get different like dogs. It's not gonna be like just the same one just over and over. It's actually gonna be different. I mean, and like oh here it is. Yeah, this was what I was talking. But or that's what you were talking about.
yeah.
Showing
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the original artwork.
see the I do like their design. Like I said, just wish that there were different species of them because like variety. I'm
Right.
alright with the Doberman, and I think they look pretty kick-ass.
Oh, definitely. No, they nailed it. So we got, we're almost like checking boxes. I feel like when we see these trailers, so it's like, okay, we saw zombies, we saw the dogs now. Now, people are gonna be like, are they gonna show the liquor? Maybe the spider? Maybe the crows. Oh my God, fighting the birds in that game is gonna be a pain. I,
I think they're gonna save a majority of like I didn't have a really big feeling that Birkin's second and third form. I think
yeah,
they're gonna I think they're gonna save those, and then
right.
what else?
The moth they're gonna save.
Yeah, oh yeah. the alligator, that's the huge one that's going to be saved.
Yeah, because they said that like they brought him back, and but he's different. But we'll get to that when we get to the topic.
Yeah, yeah, that's about our subject.
So the next topic was the reveal of Ada Wong.
Controversial.
Controversial, yeah. You know, I'm gonna put in my 2 cents, obviously, about this. I I thought that Ada Wong looked awesome. I still think she looks great. I like the whole noir kind of vibe they're going with her. I like detective, like noir stuff, so I like that they're kind of doing that with her. It's like a very classic look. To my knowledge, somebody said that I was reading somewhere that it might have been in the Road Discord that they were saying that that kind of outfit for that time, like that coat, that style of coat, actually was a thing. So it's not like they're going off the deep end by like giving her some kind of long brown coat like that. That was actually something that they did back then in the 90s, to my knowledge. So yeah, I love the way she looks. She's very she looks really beautiful. I think they nailed the face down. I mean, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's Ada Wong. I didn't think it was anybody else. I like the glasses thing is kind of interesting. I know some people are, yes and no about that, but I think the glasses thing is interesting. And then you can see a little bit of her clothes like underneath the coat. So, and somebody pointed out that like she has some kind of choker or scarf or something that's inherent to her character. So I don't know. I think there's more to her character than what they're showing, and I think there obviously is going to be a point in time where she does take her coat off, or she's going to have to not wear a coat. And I think underneath that, I don't know. We could either get a totally new outfit and they could surprise everybody, or they could, just show off the red.
The classic dress.
Yeah.
I have a theory on why it is. Now that we actually got to personality and everything.
Right. Now we can talk about it. It's not a leak or anything.
So her personality is more direct. She doesn't like take shit. Like Leon tries to help her, and she's nah, fuck off, dude. Like, and and so I think she wants her and she wants herself to look like a reporter. That's why she says, the classified and everything, because she's trying to get the big scoop. Shit. But, they said, oh yeah, we wouldn't make her look like a spy. And at first, well, that seems the most revealing and shit about the spies. But, maybe she's an investigator just like Ben in this game.
Yeah, maybe she's not a spy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I'd say she is still a spy, but she's like a investigator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be really interesting. It's crazy. Like, I still feel as much as like they've shown about her and everything, and I still feel like there's that layer of mystery about her. Even with the stuff that they shown, like, which wasn't a great deal, but I thought that, like, still I get that vibe that like she's very mysterious.
Yeah.
Which is good, because you don't want Ada to be like the kind of character that's all laid out and that's like, yeah, this is my whole character, my whole life story, like everything's out there open. Because the reason, part of the reason why people love Ada is because, obviously, she's beautiful and she can fight, and she has like mysterious ties to other things, but it's the idea of like, who is Ada? Who
Yeah.
is she as a person? How did she get to be who she is, and what's going on? And there's just so much mystery with her that even still this day they have not revealed, and I feel like they're gonna show some stuff they're going to peel back the layer of her character a bit more in this one, possibly, but I still think that Capcom is going to be keeping us in the dark with who Ada is. I don't know. Do you think they'll like really talk about her a lot, or?
I think she's gonna play the same role she about her life. I think I don't know if they're still gonna do the John storyline.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
And
about that.
if
Yeah.
if they are, it's very good. Because she doesn't really care about John.
I mean, to my knowledge, even in the original lore, they weren't really dating. They weren't really boyfriend and girlfriend. It was really like just Ada using John to get information and to get closer to him, which would in turn get her closer to the research. So, I don't know.
With with Ada being revealed though, I actually like her new personality. I actually got to like read about it. I think it's amazing. I just think people, and like with her new personality, said now, or her backstory, um, as she would say, is that she, um, let me
Yeah, I mean, I think people need to relax and not jump to conclusions and let the game do what it's doing. And just, let's see where this goes because they're doing a lot of right things for the game, and for the series, and more importantly by the fans, too. This one's for us. They're really trying hard, and they're going, in ways that I did not even dream that they would ever, explore with this game or anything like that. So this is gonna be good, and I think we should just sit back and see what happens. Um, and it's always difficult seeing a character that you haven't seen in over like 20 years. Like, granted, Ada's been in other games, but like, I mean, going back to the first time you saw her like this, I mean, it's been a long time. So, I mean, it's normal to kind of expect some kind of confusion, but I don't think people should go to the great lengths that they are to like say that she looks horrible or like the character design sucks or it's stupid or anything like that. I'm like, you gotta have an open mind.
yeah. That's how I am with all this game. It's like I'm keeping it very open minded. Like I told you yesterday, like I used to be like what I would consider the Resident Evil extremist.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think it was fixed camera or nothing. It had to look like the original game and shit. No, they absolutely changed it. I'm alright with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm with someone.
Oh yeah, the minute I saw that first trailer and then that, of course, that second trailer, I was like, I am so sold on this. You can have all the money in my wallet, maybe my bank, and then some. You can just have it.
Yeah.
It looks so good. So I'm really really happy that it's back. Um, the reveal of Ada also bleeds into an interesting thing, interesting topic next. It was something that I've been absolutely pleasantly surprised, despite the fact that Capcom has been very coy about, saying it, or has even been flat out denying it. I think they're doing it on purpose, and they don't want to outright say that they're acknowledging this. Maybe because in Japan they don't look at 1.5 the same way that we do. Maybe they look at it as like, oh, it was the failed version, and it wasn't the real version, and we should only focus on the real one that's enabled us to have the success of it. But regardless of what they may say or think or feel, I like that ever since the first time I saw the first trailer and the second trailer and the gameplay videos we've seen up till now, and then now with this, they show yet another Resident Evil 1.5 beta, throwback, which was the zombies in the jail cells. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, because Like I was just like so happy to see that. Um, I had an original PlayStation 1 back in the day. Um, like the original. And on the back of the box, it had Resident Evil 2 on it. Like as like like when you buy a system, sometimes they'll put like the games that are on the system on the back. Well, Resident Evil 2 was actually on the back of that box, and the little image in the square showed Leon running through the basement area, and there were jail cells, and out of the jail cells there were bloody hands that were coming out. And I remember that image, and I remember watching like 1.5 stuff and seeing how like in the early builds the hands would pop out and they would go back in, and then you'd go to the room and then they would pop back out again. Like they obviously wanted to do something with zombies in jail cells, so they left that little animation there, you know, as a placeholder. So I love that they explored that idea of putting zombies in jail cells, and it's a small thing, but it means a lot to see stuff like that because it calls back to those early days of Resident Evil 2's development. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this brand new Resident Evil game is as much a Resident Evil 2 remake as it is a proper HD version of Resident Evil 1.5 that we never got. And it's just, there's so many signs, there's so many things that they're changing, and they have changed, and they brought back, let it be character designs to architectural designs of the RPD and Raccoon City, and just little stuff like that. It really is a joy to see them throw that in there, even if they want to deny it. We know it's there, and the fans who are there to remember it definitely know it's there. So, what did you think? You thought that was pretty cool?
I I think they're like you said. I think they see it as like a
Yeah.
so with that, um, they don't see it like as what could have been.
Mhm.
With all the good ideas, but I think they are in a way implanting ideas from 1.5 um, into Resident Evil 2 remake because at this point it's just a brand new fucking literally Resident Evil 1. Or Resident Evil 2 remake is a brand new fucking game. It's totally different from what the original was. So they have the like capabilities of you know of making like their own style.
Mhm.
I'm collecting information for everything regarding 1.5 and Resident Evil 2 remake, and I'm making it into one big video.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
There are similarities like PlayStation 4 theme has some sounds that regard the first floor of 1.5.
Yeah.
Is it the first floor or the second floor?
I thought it was the first floor.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, I was like, is it the
No, that should be great though
But
when it's done.
there's
Like,
also
yeah.
a bluish tint with the game.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Disney about this the other day. I said, there. Uh, we what I said was, there was a thing going around that said that Resident Evil 2 remake has a bluish tint, and so does 5. And I started looking into it, and I was like, dude, that's fucking weird because in Resident Evil 2, the original, there was a lot of color. It was bright. It was colorful and stuff. But in this game, everything's dead. It looks cold, and that's because you know,
Well,
just
it's a new engine, but it's also I think a design choice.
yeah. So what the deal with 1.5 was is that they wanted every, and I keep on saying this, but this is the way that they make
Mm-hmm.
old
Yeah.
and dead. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you
Yeah.
associate blue, you associate sadness, depression, death.
Yeah.
I mean, blue can be a very happy color,
Oh no, of
but
course, yeah.
the shade of blue that they make dark, that's that's when it gets different. Um,
Shading and toning,
yeah,
it sets the mood.
and with that, I thought it was really, really awesome that that I found that. And then when everybody started saying, "Hey guys, the jail cells from 1.5 are actually in um, 2," I was like, "You know what? Um, um, is what was I gonna say? Um, oh yeah, just like the bathroom. It's really weird that the RPG has like not that many jail cells. I mean, let's see, they had what, two,
Yeah,
and that was only in the basement.
I know. I was like, well, I guess Raccoon City is a low crime town
Yeah.
because they don't worry about locking too many people up. But
So
there's definitely more though in the new one. I mean, there's like an entire cell block actually you see in the bottom. Like it's after they
yeah,
show the zombies in the jail cells. They show them like in the dark walking around. Oh my god, if that's a part of the game, man, my flashlight better work. That's all I'm saying. My damn
see,
flashlight better work.
but yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and I can't wait till I make a video on the similarities between 2 and 1.5. It's going to be fucking awesome because there's a lot of stuff that I found out just on my own about it. So um, yes, there are a lot of inspirations. I mean, but they put Elsa Walker.
Right. I mean, that's the biggest one. When I
Yeah,
seen that, I was like, "Oh my god, they're acknowledging this character like in some way." Like that's huge for them. That is huge for them.
what if she was the main character on 8?
Oh, that would be even better. I see. That's the thing. I liked Elsa. I hated that they got rid of her. I loved that they made Claire Redfield absolutely, but there's no reason why that Elsa couldn't have been a character, and that she still shouldn't be a character. So
Yeah,
Simo says I want tofu.
but I I said the way that Elsa Walker's is that they're probably gonna do what Injustice did the, uh, with the premiere skins.
Yeah.
She'll she'll have a different look, but she'll have the same animations. She'll have uh, premiere skins had different voices. Like
Right.
it's gonna have the same voice.
Yeah. No, they're not gonna get a different voice.
I highly doubt that they're gonna hire another actor to voice Elsa.
That would
So
just put salt in the wound that like she never was a character. They're like, we're gonna go all this way at creating the skin, and we're gonna hire someone else to play this role for a character who doesn't exist. And I'm like, oh. So
but yeah, they already have an Elsa actress. I
I wonder if the hair will be blonde though. Like, will it
like I
be?
said, every
Yeah.
I think they're gonna modernize with the whole motorbike thing.
Yeah.
They might modernize it to uh, have or to make her look better within the race tracks.
Right.
But it's actually I know she had blonde hair,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Some of the pictures it almost I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The game model had blonde hair, but um, yeah,
It might be because of the marker.
that's true. Yeah. I mean, and you know what? Like in Resident Evil 2, the original, like Leon, there were times where it looked like Leon had straight up red hair, but
Yeah.
he had brown. So,
Where's oh dude, I just had this. Oh, this is probably my favorite picture of Elsa. And they actually might give her the jacket as well.
Oh, that yeah, with the flames and it's like black and it's got flames on the shoulders area. Yeah, that would be crazy. I'm just happy that they're acknowledging her though. That's just my big thing.
Actually, this actually might be what she became. Let me
I mean,
pixel-wise.
let me
She
see.
actually might look like that.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, her colors though are red and blue and orange, so and like white and stuff. So they're I think they're gonna incorporate something. I can't wait to see how they're
Yeah,
gonna do that.
I'm good. For the next subject.
Okay. So the next topic is one that I was so surprised to see, and I didn't even catch it. Believe it or not, the first time that I seen it, like I was watching the trailer and it just kind of whizzed by, and I didn't see it, and I only found it later when they released the batch of screenshots, and I saw the screenshot. I was like, oh my god, and that is the reveal of Hunk, and oh man, I was so happy to see Hunk. I was so excited. He's one of my favorite characters in the series. He's like Ada, like in that he's dark and mysterious, and you know a little bit about him, but you don't. And we know Hunk is a trained Umbrella soldier. We know that obviously he goes by Mr. Death or Death or something. He's elite. He's a master and like CQC and like gun, fighting everything. I mean, he's the best of the best. Um, and we know that he also from Code Veronica trained in Rockford Island, so he had some stuff there. Um, but yeah, I thought that was really awesome. Yeah, see him. He's the death. Yeah, it's so cool to see him, and I know now knowing that they're gonna do the fourth Survivor campaign. He looks so badass, and
I
um,
wonder how that's gonna play like.
I hope it has story. I want it to have
I
story.
somebody talked about in the Nightmare discussion where they asked. Let me check. I think it was my Nightmare discussion.
But I don't know if he gets like killed though, because in the video you watch, like I think Birkin kind of just like swipes him with
I
his
think he
claw.
swipes somebody doesn't die.
Right.
Like I think he's like mortal.
But then you know what else did you see? Like they showed which in my opinion, I don't know if it's like a Resident Evil 3 kind of Easter egg thing, but they showed the rats eating the virus.
Yeah, and
But
that's
the zombies are already there, so I don't know if that's like it doesn't matter if they're eating the vials, like
oh,
the city's already screwed up.
I found the comment. So someone says, "Can someone please tell me if melee moves are back with where I can finish with a badass kick or follow up attack?" I was like, "No, thank God."
No.
But I wouldn't be pissed if they did it for him.
Yeah, cuz he's a badass.
Resident. Yeah, he's already used to like comp situations, like not the newbie like Claire or Leon.
Yeah.
So for Ada and Hump to have it, I'm with you, Matt.
I almost expect him though when you play as Hunk to like like they're doing the aiming in this game and stuff like that. I almost expect Hunk to have perfect aim. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying headshots every time, but like I'm definitely also the idea of a headshot is so crazy in this game. Like what is a headshot anymore? You can shoot these things in the face like six
Um.
times and they're still getting up.
Apparently in my cat video, apparently someone counted 8 times that she shot a fucking zombie in the head in just the one room.
Right. So it's like what is a headshot anymore?
That's nothing.
These things can take an entire clip to the face. Like sometimes I got half a face and they're still, attacking you. So
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I do think that he's gonna be like really powerful, and like you're gonna feel like a badass when you play as Hunk, because obviously he's Hunk. So, but what did you think about that? You thought that was pretty cool that they showed him off? Or were you surprised?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they showed off this for the first trailer, which is money in no. Wait, was that Hunk that said money in my account?
No, that wasn't that. I think that was Chief Irons that said that. What Hunk said is,
Oh god damn! Yeah, survival is your own risk. God damn. Yeah, that.
and then he said something about the extraction point, or waiting for my extraction, or something.
Yeah, survival is your own. Oh, what was it? Survival is.
Uh, it was like survival is your own responsibility or something.
Yeah, responsibility. That's what. And then he says, "God damn it!" So that was pretty fucking.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. And
Yeah.
that was surprising. Like that first trailer, and they already were throwing him in there. I loved how they did that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like they announced him without actually announcing him, and that only people who kind of know the lore and know the character would listen to that and
Yeah.
know. I remember when people were like, "Oh, the whole money in the bank thing, that's Wesker." I'm like, "No. No. Wesker he was far gone from Raccoon City. He didn't even give a shit about Raccoon City anymore. He was
No.
he was
Yeah, I
gone."
mean, like both Claire and Hunk fucking surprised him. Like, at least they both got.
Yeah. Um and they're not going to do anything with like Hunk running into Leon or Claire or anything. I don't think they would, like he's like when they find him, I think he's going to be on the ground, just like
Yeah.
knocked down in the sewer or something, and you're not going to know.
They'll pick up
Mhm. Now I hope there is more story though with him. Like I would like to have more radio chatter between him and like the other like Umbrella HQ guys, maybe back and forth. Just I don't know, something, because I don't really know how much story they could really add because everybody's dead. But I just hope the Hunk like mode is more in depth, because I loved playing as Hunk, and like it was really only like a 30. It wasn't even a 30-minute thing in the other game. It was like what, like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah. Actually, hold up. Let me look up the Hunk playthrough. Speed run. Let's see. The world record is 1:59.66.
Oh my god.
So that's pretty fucking quick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you have to do. You have to go from the sewer to, the above ground, but that's fast.
59 seconds. Oh wait, it. I mean, in the video, it's is it 4 minutes. He completes it in 4 minutes.
All right. Even so, like I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
4 minutes.
it is short though. It is very short.
Although I feel like it's gonna be longer this time just because the game is harder.
Yeah.
So it's like even with him being who he is, like I still feel like he's gonna have a really tough battle getting from where he is to where he has to be, and with everything being so crazy in this game, like I don't know. He's probably gonna wake up and all he's gonna have on him is his machine gun and maybe a pistol.
Um. Oh, by the way, I speaking about extensions of play. Me and my brother were talking about Resident Evil yesterday, and this was with live chat, and I was muted. So my brother over my younger brother. So I'm very competitive with games like games of Siege, any fighting game. Just I'm a very competitive person, CS:GO competitive, but I also like story games. Now my brother, he's into sports games like Madden, NBA, stuff like that. And he's also into story games as well. So he loves Uncharted. He fucking loves like anything that has a story. He wants it. And me and him grew up on Resident Evil 2. So he says, I see that you can like game it like now, like the classic game. He was like, man, I really hope that they expand the story. I'm like, yeah, they are. And I think it's going to take a bit longer to beat this game. Per se, like what was the speed run record of Resident or remake?
The speedrun record? I'm not sure. No,
I would
people.
say about an hour and a half,
Maybe 2 hours? Maybe, I mean,
maybe. Yeah, but he likes Resident Evil 7, but he didn't like it because it was too short.
yeah.
So, like he played all the way through Resident Evil 7, but he didn't like it because it was short. That's kind of what I'm not hoping for Resident Evil 2. I'm not wanting it to be like I can get this done in like 3 hours. I actually want to sit down and play it for like a good 12 hours before I'm done with the game. So I mean, I really hope that they do expand this where it's like, right, yeah, should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, because we really don't know too much. They kind of just showed them a little bit here and there. So it's kind of everything's just left up to theory, and even then, they still really didn't show much. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I'm glad that he's in there. I remember the original rumors for this game, and one of them was that Hunk was not going to be in the game, or he was like they weren't going to do Force Survivor or anything like that. I am so glad that that was a bunch of bullshit. So that's good to know. Can't wait to check that out. And the tofu mode, that's gonna be funny. Like with the RE engine, are they gonna try and make like a real looking piece of tofu?
I think so. Photo scan of tofu and
Can you imagine that? It's like things I did while making my game. Scanned a piece of tofu.
nah, just make a human-sized human-sized tofu bar.
It's gonna be tofu. They're gonna like inspire tofu cosplayers and people going to like conventions. And like, who are you supposed to be? Oh, I'm Tofu from Resident Evil 2. So the next topic, I'll let you introduce if you want to talk about that, because that was a good one.
Dude, yeah.
That was shocking.
So, I didn't catch on to this at first until I started reading. Apparently, there's a child zombie in the game, like a zombie child, and I'm actually really surprised about that. If you don't know what the zombie child looks like, it is the girl that Ada gun towards. You can definitely tell that it is a kid. But I do have a theory on this, but this didn't explain your feelings.
So yeah, so I'm watching the trailer, and everything's going good and smooth, and then boom, like they flash this image of what looks to be like a child zombie, and I was just like, oh my god, they went there. I didn't think they were gonna go there. There were rumors they were gonna go there, but they actually went there, and it was so surprising, very jarring. I know outside of gaming, or just as a whole, I'll say this as a whole, the media, let it be through gaming, movies, and books and whatnot. Like it's very rare that they do something like a child zombie, or or a baby zombie or anything like that. I haven't seen a lot of horror movies, but I know that to be kind of a taboo thing, and it's gotten. Go ahead.
What was that one George Romero movie?
Well, I know The Walking Dead did it in the opening
No,
scene.
there was one about a zombie baby. Fuck. Hold up. It's the movie with the shopping. Dawn of the Dead. The Dawn of the Dead remake. They
Ah.
actually had a baby zombie, and dad would like had the baby eat like part of his fucking arm and shit.
Oh
Like,
God. Yeah.
yeah,
You see, that shows you how much I know about horror movies. I don't watch a lot of horror movies. Although hilariously, Night of the Living Dead was the first horror movie I ever seen. So, go figure. But
yeah,
um, I was really surprised and shocked. Because like I said, like doing anything with zombification of children in the media or anything like that, anything graphic, like they're usually against it. It's a taboo thing, and if they do it, it's usually for shock value. But um, and just with the way that the world's kind of going right now, and the things that have been happening, I was really surprised that they did that. But I'm not bothered by it. I mean, I'm shocked, but I'm not. I mean, it's a game, so it's.
yeah. Um,
But yeah, I think that it was interesting to see, and I don't think there's going to be multiple children zombies. This is my theory. I think there's just going to be the one kid zombie, the one child zombie, and I'm only going to say this because I think it has something to do with Sherry. I think it's going to be Sherry being in school and her friend being sick and then causing a problem, and then the whole school gets sick or something like that, or it's going to be a flashback scene, or it could be if they did let you play as Sherry, I could see that being an issue. Because if you remember, from I think it was the first trailer, they showed in the rain on the streets what looked like a kid zombie. Like everybody was like, who's that shadowed character? Like, oh, what's that? Like, like what's is that a statue? Is that a child zombie? Is that Sherry? Like they didn't know what was going on. So I don't know. Um, it could be something like that. But yeah, so it looks like there's children zombies in there. I don't know if Leon and Claire are gonna encounter them. It'll depend on how they do it. Like I know Leon more than likely won't, but if they did it, I could see it being Claire, and Claire maybe investigating like the school or going through the
yeah,
school and finding Sherry and stuff like that. And but yeah, I don't know. Or if you play as Sherry, I could see her like running into her, like something like that. The way that another thing I want to add in real quick is I think the reason that we never really saw the zombies as children, or children zombies, was because the virus was so strong and so like lethal that because kids have like really underdeveloped immune systems, and they're still kind of developing and everything like that, and they're so young. I think that the virus normally killed them off. Like when they got sick, the parents would lose the kids, and then the parents would become zombies. I don't think that the kids had bodies and immune system strong enough to survive the T virus. So I think that's why you never really saw them in the games or anything like that. They were always just cut out and stuff like that. That's the way I saw it, but it looks like they're changing it up this time. So what do you think survived?
um, I have two theories about this, but the one theory, the one of the theories is that I had one about Sherry. The Sherry one is when Iron says you're I can't believe a little girl like you travel away, or it's something along the line. Traveling along these the RPP all by yourself. I think there's going to be somewhere. I feel like there's going to be like a flashback type with it, where she remembers like something. Now this is at night. Like Sherry would have been on the news today. But actually, at this point, wait. So how long was Sherry in the RP? Because let's see, if the virus started 3 days the before Leon and Claire get there, how the fuck did she survive? Like, um, because I want to consider that voice from Umbrella Chronicles, not Umbrella Chronicles, Dark Side Chronicles. Canon.
Yeah.
I do want to consider that line canon. The game doesn't have to be, but that.
Yeah, the whole telephone scene
Yeah,
between Annette Birkin and Sherry when she's at the school.
I believe that voice line is canon, but I think since this is at night, maybe she went and then stayed at home and just went to the RPG class with Claire and Leon.
Yeah, because they have that piece of key art
Yeah.
where she's in her house and she's kind of sitting by the window.
Yeah, her old ending.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. As shown by Kat on Twitter, she made.
I have the picture already.
I was like, wow. I didn't notice it at first, but then when I seen that, I was like, oh my god, that's right. You know, that's from the extra images. Yeah, which the game looks amazing.
She it looks like she has kin. So yeah, I think she stays in the house, and then maybe the night before Leon and Claire get there, maybe she goes out to the RPG. But if you look closely with the let's see, it looks like a brick house. All right. Now look at this second picture that I sent, where it shows her face.
Yeah,
One of her eyes is normal. Like the left side of her face is like all gray and shit, and the right side is all normal. Maybe this is sort of like a Marvin scene where Sherry will like find her, and then just her entire face will go into a zombie. Basically,
right. She's
like,
slowly turning.
Yeah. Another theory I have is since we know what happens, Claire's gameplay, like Irons takes her and stuff. Maybe Claire will go to, and this is really fucked up, but Claire will go through the school.
Yeah.
Shit, and she'll find a girl, and you know, because we all know that Claire's very, caring.
Yeah, she's almost like a motherly figure.
Yeah. So, she basically turns and she has to shoot.
Oh.
That'd be some fucked up shit right there. But it could happen. I mean, they're trying to make the story more emotional.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Claire has to make that hard decision of, all right, taking the gun and then bam. Like they can kill the kid off camera because this looks like a cutscene.
Right.
But either or, it could either be Sherry or Claire. I don't think it's gonna be Leon or.
No, and I could see it as like I said, like a flashback, like Sherry, like a monologue, like, oh, I was at school the other day, and then something was wrong with my friend, and then like they could just show, like real quick, something. So I don't know. Still, that was jarring. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
the rumors are true. So the next topic is Irons and Sherry. If you wanna
Oh yeah.
you wanna talk about that?
In the trailer or in the gameplay, anybody has watched the gameplay that will wait with. So Irons makes Sherry. He manipulates Sherry to cuffing her, and Sherry doesn't want to do it, and she likes Claire and stuff. But Irons manipulates her, and if you don't do this, I will fucking like you better fucking do this now. So she of course gets handcuffed and shit, and Claire tries to fight back, and fucking Irons just backhands her, his gun and shit in hand, and she's bleeding and all this shit from the mouth, and Irons takes her. And that's where she reveals to Irons that she is sister of Chris. It's it's a bit hard to watch Claire get fucking beat like that,
Yeah, it is.
But it gives Claire more of a reason to fucking go and act rad.
That and the player, like, a lot of times it's like, when you play a game, much like when you're watching a movie or anything like that, it's like an interactive experience, and, you're, in a game's perspective, you're sitting there playing it, so it's very interactive because you're in control of it. So it gives, like, the player, obviously, a strong story and stuff like that, but it also gives the player that, that fuel to keep playing and be like, I'm going to stop this person, and, like, like, you get angry at the characters on the screen, and you want to see it through and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's like making a connection with the player who's experiencing the story.
I mean, she even says, if you heard her, I
would. Yeah.
Like,
it was funny to hear Claire curse. That was funny.
Oh yeah, I was like, dude, holy shit, dude.
And even Leon, like, the first time I saw Leon gameplay, and then I saw him, like, yelling out the F-bomb and, like, just saying, like, it's like, oh, you piece of shit. I was like, oh my god. I've never heard him, like get pissed like that and, like, get scared and stuff. So it's like, that was really cool. And seeing Claire like that, I was like, wow, they are really, like, revamping her character and everything like that. So that was cool.
Yeah. With the whole Claire and Irons thing, it's now new that Irons takes Sherry.
Right.
That's definitely a new.
Yeah, that is new.
Within the story, so if you look at the what was it? If you look at at what room he's calling Claire in, it looks like it's a kid's room. Let me try to get the image.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Here, hold up. I just found it. Save as audience. Okay. So, I'm gonna just rename all these once I get done. But okay. So here's the picture I'm talking about. It looks like it's in the kids' room because there's kids drawing in it.
Oh, right. But you think that's from the where do you think that's not in the RPD?
No, that's definitely not.
It's like, oh my god, dude, what if it's like at her house?
Yeah.
That would be so creepy. Oh, that would be bad. That would be bad. I don't know if it might be at the school though, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they're. Oh, dude, like, I just thought of something. What if that's in what if that's in Chief Iron's office? Oh, that's nasty. Like, just like like, you don't have to say anything. The implications that, like, he's more evil and sinister and he's done horrible things. Like, it's like, oh no. I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna take this guy, but they said that, he's a much darker, more evil character, and he's around a lot longer than he was in the old games. So it's just like, oh man, they're making this guy a total slimy like guy. Like, ugh.
Yeah, they're definitely making it like, oh shit, we kind of got over here.
Yeah.
But the whole like him going after Sherry thing, I wonder what that's up. Because after the scene, it looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's messed up. It was messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like he's walking to Sherry about to her.
Oh, or maybe like Sherry wanders or tries to escape, and then she finds the dead body of the mayor's daughter on the bed there, or the table, and she's like, "Uh oh, like what did I stumble upon?" kind of thing. Like it's like, what are his intentions? Is it, like that's the thing. It's like, did he just kidnap her because maybe he's like gonna take her, like he's gonna kidnap her totally and just like take her, or is he like trying to, sell her off to Umbrella or something, like deliver her because maybe Umbrella wants Sherry.
My computer just decided to shut down, so I think I just lost all the progress of the music. But yeah, so
Are you still on the stream?
yeah, I believe so.
Okay. 'Cause you sound a lot louder, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
think it's because of the phone.
Yeah. Let me see here. Um.
What what's our next topic though?
Oh right. It's Annette.
Annette.
Annette
Yeah.
reveal. So.
I think she looks good.
Yeah, I think she looks like pretty much what I pictured. Um.
I uh is she wearing something new? I believe.
Uh.
Let me look at her.
I think she's
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
the same. Um. I think she's wearing the same
She's wearing
stuff.
the lab coat and the gray shirt. You know what she kind of looks like?
What's up,
Margaret
Marg? Oh, from.
from the 7. She in a way kind of looks like Margaret. I don't know why. I just felt like yeah.
Yeah, there's. I think people made that distinction with the character models. How like I seen it on the row. I forget who posted it, but it was somebody was talking about um, Alex Wesker, and then they did Marguerite Baker, and then they did Annette Birkin, and it was like they were trying to say that the three of them kind of like looked alike, and I was like, wow, okay, I kind of see where they're going with it, but I think it's more just the fact of the engine or something like that,
Yeah.
and it being similar. But no, I thought she was fine. I thought that it was really cool to see her. I didn't have a problem with the voice or the way she looked or anything like that. It made sense, and she still like the story and the character are still the same. It's still like you'll never get your hands on the G virus, and she's still very protective, and they kind of showed the origin point of where in the one trailer where she said like such strength or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
She was like saying, "Oh, like there's such strength. We
Oh yeah,
didn't
yeah.
expect this to
Yeah.
happen."
His thing is fuck. Oh, what did she say?
It was
Hold up. I have it up here. Yeah, he must be evolving much faster than expected. Yeah.
right, and I think that goes hand in hand with the original trailers where they were talking about um, this wasn't supposed to happen, and there such strength. I don't know if that was relating to something else going on, or maybe some of that could have been Ada. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the trailer. But
Yeah.
I think to me it sounds like still Annette Birkin. Most of that my mind when I heard it the first time I was like, oh, that's Annette.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they haven't really shown too much about her. But I'm okay with her. Absolutely, and I think it's great what they're doing. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Leon and Claire, and then any interaction with Sherry. Um, so yeah,
Like Annette, she still seems like a bitch. Like, well, like there's not much to say. I mean, she has the same like
personality.
story, yeah, personality. only thinks about her and her husband's work. Like,
Worst Parents of the Year award goes
yeah,
to the Birkins. It'll be interesting to see though if they do that thing with Sherry though, where she calls
yeah,
that. That kind of like that scene made me think that she does still care about her daughter when I heard that, but that was from Dark Side Chronicles. This is Resident Evil 2 remake
yeah.
or reimagining or Resident Evil 2, whatever you want to say.
Maybe
So
there'll be
I don't know.
a video tape right next to a phone, like a recording machine.
Right,
They'll actually have that in a different form.
like an answering machine kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be
maybe in
cool.
a lab somewhere. They'll have it.
Mhm. It'll be interesting if they show where some of these characters like lived. Like with Sherry showing her house, like they'll show you where in Raccoon City her house was. So that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. But
Um,
they still said that they were expanding the Raccoon City streets. But
oh
like
yeah,
I said, I hope they don't expand it too much.
right,
Where it's like, okay, then what are we gonna explore in Resident Evil 3?
right. Well, Resident Evil 3 had a lot of new areas. Like, granted, you did go down the same street where the RPD was, but outside of that, a lot of the streets were new. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that that's still the case with Resident Evil 3 remake, which if that ever should come to be, which damn it, I hope it does. This game is gonna sell like crazy. Please keep this going. And you can't have two without three, and you can't have three without two. Like they're brother and sister. They're the same timeline. It's just like ah. So I know they'll do it, but will they do it this generation? Maybe. I don't know. The Resident Evil 3 just celebrated its 19th anniversary, so maybe they'll wait for the 20th to say something or start like a campaign at least to talk about it. I don't know. One can hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that Birkin, there she was. It's another character to check off the list. That we didn't see. The next topic would be the epic, slow reveal. Glimpse into the Raccoon City sewers, and where there's sewers, there are spiders, and where there's also spiders, there's also a big, giant green alligator waiting for them. What did you think about them showing ending the trailer off right there with the sewer? I love that. I thought it was so freaking cool.
It's weird. It almost feels like I'm in a Ninja Turtle game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, uh, okay, that sounds like something that me and Proxy are working on. That's weird. But I think it's very cool to see that. I think they enter in the sewers through the streets, maybe. Uh, like you might have to find a man or like a crowbar, and then find the manhole to go down the sewer. Um, with the oh, what's it called? But it looks expansive. I'm not gonna lie. Like we get two shots of the garage, which is the which is when Ben says we want to know about the G virus, and basically the just Ada or the sewers. But it is going to be cool that they're going to do a duo thing. Do you actually think that the Leon being injured will be like more dramatic, or will they just keep it the same?
The reveal for dramatic for who?
For like all together, like when Leon dives over to save Ada.
I don't know. I think if they want to include that scene in, then yeah, it's gonna be more. I think everything's gonna be just ramped up, and it's gonna be more dramatic and serious, and the tone is gonna be much more serious compared to the last game, like the original. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. I, I I like your theory, like with the sewer, because in Resident Evil 2, the original, we entered the sewer through a manhole, as
Yeah,
as Ben put it. You know, there's a manhole and
right next to the dog cages.
dog cages. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think with them showing Leon and Ada on the streets walking, I think they're gonna find maybe the specific manhole that they need to go through to get to where they're going, and they're gonna maybe go through the sewer that way. I question. There's a lot to question there. It's like, Leon and Ada did work together to some degree in Resident Evil 2, but they weren't like out on the streets. They were, because they didn't want to go on the streets because it was like full of zombies. So it's like, now they're doing something different. So I don't know. I'm trying to think about what they're gonna do. Like with the sewer revealed, obviously we're gonna see the spiders. That's probably where the spiders are gonna make their appearance. But what are they gonna do with the gator? Like, is it gonna be something that crashes through like a wall? Is it gonna come out of the water?
Maybe it might be near the park or the zoo. Like I feel like how they're gonna explain it. It's gonna be he escaped through the zoo and went to the sewers like as maybe a baby alligator, and then the T virus made him grow so much that it was like, holy shit, he's huge. Maybe that's how they will explain it.
I can't wait to see the gator though. I think that's gonna be sick.
I don't know, that's my theory.
Oh man, do you think he's gonna be green, or he's gonna be like a brown alligator? Like they're gonna because alligators come in all different kinds of like. Do you think he'll be like infected?
Let's see. What does
Because the gator in the old game, he just looked like a giant alligator. Like
Yeah.
like really big.
Hold up, I'm looking up Midwestern alligators. Huh. So they're Midwestern alligators have a blue, have a brown or black tint, maybe. That's what I think. I think it's just gonna look like a normal alligator.
Right. Definitely big though. Obviously, it has to be
Oh yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Has to be a huge alligator. But just that little part when they ended it right there, that was really something. Like, yeah, like what's waiting for them. Like what's down there, and I love that they just kind of ended it there. So yeah, that was a cool way to end it off. Because they showed a lot of this game, and I think they're definitely getting to the point where they're getting to the wire. I mean, the game is 4 months away because September is pretty much over. So they're about 4 months away, and they don't want to show off too much. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get any more trailers at all. Maybe a little bit of information here or there, maybe some interview stuff, but I don't know. I think we're getting down to the wire. We're really not going to get news for a while about this game. I think Tokyo Game Show might have been it.
Oh yeah.
If they show any more, I'll be surprised. And if they do show any more, there's a part of me that might not want to see it, just because I'm like, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to prove to me anymore that you guys got this. I know you got this now. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So,
I mean, overall, she
they'll probably separate though at one point. Like Leon and Ada, they won't stay together, and they'll separate somewhere in the basement, like sewer, and something will happen. Or Ada will be like, she'll be just cheeky and like just say like, I'm not following you anymore. Like, I need to do my own thing. Because she's very serious in this game. Like, she couldn't give a shit less that like Leon is alive, really, or that he's a police officer. Like, she doesn't care. She's like, I'm here to find out what's going on, and I'm not telling you anything. Everything's classified, and she's just very, very serious. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know, but it was cool to see the store though, a little bit. Next topic is the Kendo gun shop, which it was revealed very slightly, very very small, but we did see. I think it was in the trailer. Yeah, it was in the trailer, and it was kind of just panned as they were going down the street, and you saw the shop lit up, and then it was of course in the screenshots. So, what did you think when you saw that? Like, were you hoping to see Kendo's gun shop?
It's different.
Yeah, it is different.
Um, there's a new neon sign. Instead of it actually looking like it got rated, yeah, definitely.
It has this like closed down feel.
Yeah, it just looks closed down. So maybe I don't want to know this possibility, but Kendo might not be in this game.
Ooh. Oh.
He might be already dead, like Dark Side Chronicles, which I really don't want that to be the case because he's a very 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 pivotal part of the Resident Evil story.
I thought it was cool seeing Kendo's gun shop. I like the new look of the store. It's very real and like modern. It looks like something that you would see somewhere else. Like down like any old street or something like that. If there was a gun shop in your area or something, it looks believable. The windows are kind of like they're not boarded up. They're looking like locked down. They got the shutters kind of things over, like the grates over the windows and the door and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna say that he's still there. I think Kendo is in the game still. I just think maybe if he's not in his gun shop, well, actually, I have two theories. I think he is in the gun shop, and you do find him there, like the old game, because they want to keep it as close to the original game as possible. But then at the same time, I think there's a chance that he could be elsewhere, and you run into him on the street, and maybe that's how he dies. Because I don't think he dies in the gun shop. I don't know. I really don't think he's dead or dying in the gun shop anymore. I think if anything, he might be out on the street, and he might try to save either Leon or Claire. And then more likely, I'm thinking Claire, and like almost like Kendo's gonna be the guide for her a bit while she navigates the streets. Or maybe there'll be a moment where Claire is like getting surrounded or something, and Kendo's gonna come in and save her. Like, but then obviously he's sacrificing himself, something like that. I mean, oh man, I would be so disappointed if he wasn't there. And I know, the rest of the fans would be. I know Kendo from the row, he would be just heartbroken.
He would definitely be heartbroken.
And JJ, I know, would be from the Residence. He would be pretty torn because that's one of his.
I'll be in the game.
I know that's one of JJ's favorite characters.
Yeah.
So yeah. I thought they were gonna show him though.
I don't know. I think he's in the same level of the what's it called? I think he's on the same level of the alligator and what else was I thinking? The liquor, where he's like a pivotal part of the story. Maybe they just won't show him up yet. Maybe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I just think he's a pivotal part. He'll play some with it.
Right. Because, like, again, if he's not there, I'm like, oh no, he's not there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would just piss everybody off. I don't think they would do that. Um, so what's next on the topic list?
Um, the Japanese censorship
Uh,
from the game.
okay.
So
Go ahead. You want
basically, uh, so what this game, uh, there is of course the Japanese version of this game. That's what they showed in Tokyo Game Show. That's what every. That's basically everything. So they they showed Elliot's death and how much it changed. He still has his legs in the
Yeah, I seen that when they
in the
were
game.
doing the display up on the
So
stage.
with that, it was like that's kind of weird. And I was talking to you about it yesterday because I was like, it's kind of weird that you know that Japan used to be the number one uh, place to get uncensored game. I think it was Snatcher by Kojima that had like the most fucked up shit in the game,
Yeah.
and it was heavily censored in the U.S. And the intro to RE1 was very very censored. Uh, with Chris not being able to smoke, the hand part, the color, the eaten face. There was a lot of stuff that was censored from the game, and now it's switched roles where the U.S. is like the place where we get all the uncensored games and the and just now it's Japan that has all the censored stuff, which that never made any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean everything's different. I know like for us over here, um, like I don't know, we're not as critical, I guess, over violence, but
Yeah,
we kind of shame other things. But other countries, they're more lenient with, other stuff, but then they're very like hard on violence. So Japan being possibly one of those countries that's like that, which is it's a little odd, yeah, because like some of this stuff it comes from Japan, you know what I mean? But it's like, but they're I don't know, they've been censoring stuff for a while, so I wasn't surprised, and I know that they do that, and it was it's just one of them things. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. Like when we buy our games, it's it is what it is.
yeah,
Like it's the 100% full uncut game. Outside of what happened with the '90s and the original Resident Evil
yeah,
when they messed up, that kind of stuff does not happen anymore. To my knowledge, granted, things do get censored. Yes, sadly, unfortunately, sometimes it does happen, and
yeah,
people, there's people like that care, and then people that don't care, and sometimes I think on it. To me, it depends on what they're censoring. Like if it's something that needs to be, maybe it might be a little odd or something like that. Like I don't know, maybe I won't be as critical of it. But if it's something like if they made Resident Evil 2 for us, like for example, take what they're doing there. If I'm playing Resident Evil 2 and I know that Elliot is supposed to be pulled apart, but in our version he wasn't, and he was like he just came back bloody, I would be like that's stupid. Like it just doesn't make sense, you know. And same goes for like other stuff in the game. So
yeah,
it is what it is, I guess. I mean, again, I'm just thankful we don't have to worry about that.
yeah. And the other thing is that Claire's death was shown, but it got censored,
Right.
which is like I was really mad at that because I really want to see what Claire's death looks like without any censorship or anything.
Yeah. Well, you want to know how far they're kind of going with this game.
Yeah, I from what I've seen, he oh fuck. I know he smashes her skull in, but I think she bashes her head on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and then he puts her there, and then the camera moves up a bit, and you just see his hand like close, and just blood splurting out where his hand is. So that he basically destroyed her fucking head.
Yeah. The
But
beauty about Resident Evil though is like I've always appreciated in some regards. It's like, yeah, the game is a survival horror game. It is bloody and violent and and stuff like that. But there was always a bit of restraint, and I always appreciated that. It's like not as like a in like a sense where like, oh, I can't handle it or something like that. It's just I appreciated that artistic sense where it's like they didn't always show you everything that happened, and it left your mind to kind of wander like how bad that was. And sometimes I don't know, you know what I mean? Like sometimes if you give somebody exactly what they want, it doesn't come off exactly the way that you wanted, and it comes off looking like cheap. Like it doesn't look right, and it's just like, oh, but it just doesn't look good. But when your mind can't see it, your mind is even infinitely 100 times more worse than what they're going to show you sometimes. So I don't know, I've always appreciated that about the Resident Evil series. So I respect whatever they do or don't show, but so far from what I've seen of this stuff that happens to the people, like the thing with Elliot, like that was jarring. I was like, oh my god, that guy just got pulled apart. The character deaths, from what I've heard from like you, because I told you I wasn't gonna watch that one with Leon
yeah,
and the two zombies, but from what you said, that sounds pretty gruesome. So it does.
it's it's definitely on a Mortal Kombat level of
It's a step above remake.
yeah, it's definitely like with the regular zombie bite. I told Avid that like we when watching that, it's like it's very very close to how the original game was with its deaths and kills and shit like that. There was just that one he bite, and then just a big rip from the flesh, and then in the original game it's usually the blood splurt that goes out to you died, but in this one it's just a big hunk of flesh.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The next topic I want to just say real quick, because it's kind of a small thing. We didn't really. It's more just like me seeing things, and other people
Yeah.
seeing things. Is I noticed there was definitely clear evidence of either new weapons, additional weapons, or gun mods, modifications. Resident Evil 2, the original version, had gun modifications for the handgun, the shotgun, and the machine. Wait, no, not the machine gun. The handgun, the shotgun,
yeah,
and the Magnum. There we go. Yeah, and you could have a custom handgun, which fired like 3 bullets. And then you had the Magnum, which was like just insane. Just like automatically his head came off. The other one was stronger too. Like if you shot a zombie with the old Magnum, their head was definitely coming off. But this one is like really great. Obviously, it's stronger when you're fighting boss battles. You want a stronger Magnum. And then there was the shotgun and the custom shotgun, and the custom shotgun was my favorite weapon in Resident Evil 2. It's also one of my favorite weapons of all time from the series. It's a beast of a gun. And I saw what looked like weapon mods in the game, because one picture we had Leon with the standard shotgun that we kind of been seeing him use, and then at the very end there was another shotgun that he had when he was going in the sewer with Ada. It looked like a double barrel, and it had a different handle and everything on it. So that's either a new shotgun or it's the confirmation of the custom shotgun, which that's just exciting to see. And they did show off some of the guns from the Tokyo Game Show with the merchandise and stuff, and they showed the Magnum. So we already know that's there, and there was even a different handgun too. Or maybe that was the Magnum. I don't know, but there was something that.
or yeah, Yeah.
that Leon was using on the streets. So that was cool to say. That was definitely cool to say. Let me see what else we could talk about. Oh well, I mean, I guess we could tie this in with it because I'm looking at the list.
Yeah.
We saw the flame and acid rounds being in the game. We did see the flame rounds at Gamescom, but they showed the acid rounds this time, and I believe there was a video showing Claire firing them at William Birkin, and it kind of like burned him and stuff like that, and like I think there's
Let me check it out real quick.
there's a gameplay video I saw of her shooting Birkin, and his face, instead of it being what it looked like, it was all like orange. Like it looked like like a burnt orange, like where the skin is like kind of like dark red, dark orange, and everything like that. Yeah, so I think that's what the acid does to him. I have no idea what it's gonna do to the other enemies in the game. Like, could you imagine like fighting a zombie and shooting a zombie with an acid round and just looking at their skin just go like get burnt or like melt? I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be gruesome. And we already know that when she fires the flame rounds, that the skin goes black. Like,
Yeah.
we made that joke like
It
the last
charges
one.
up. Yeah.
It's like, how do you want your your bioweapons? Do you want them like extra crispy?
No,
So
medium or rare.
rare, bleeding.
But yeah, yeah, Birkin looks a bit orangish when he gets
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So I think that's definitely the effects of the new weapon, rounds and stuff like that. I think that's wait. There's the flame. There's the acid. Isn't there another one? Oh, and the regular.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
You've seen the regular.
Yeah, like the standard rounds. That's gonna be interesting. They're probably just gonna the explosive ones. Those are just gonna just. I don't even know. I want to know, but like, what if you? Because the boss enemies are stronger, so like that's gonna do whatever it does to them. But what if you use like an explosive round on a zombie? Is like their arms and legs gonna go flying everywhere? They're gonna blow.
Christ, with the new Gore-Tech, I hate to see it. What that looks like.
Like, what are they doing? Like, and here's the thing: if she shoots them with a grenade launcher, like explosive round, and they kind of just fall to the floor, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be a little disappointed. But like, come on, it's like it's a rocket. It's basically a rocket, but it's a grenade, and it's like those things need to blow up. Like something, they need to be charred, and they're like their arms and head and stuff need to go flying everywhere. I don't know, like I don't know. I just think that like realistically, like because that is pretty realistic. You shot something like with a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher or something, like it's gonna blow up in a million pieces. So like even something simple as like a piece of fruit, like shoot like a watermelon, that thing is gonna go like in a million pieces.
Yeah, explode. Yeah.
So that was really cool that they showed Claire using the acid rounds too, and they showed Irons, which bleeds into the other topic that it kind of was tied with, was the new office for Irons.
Yeah.
With the RPD replica in it.
I have a theory upon the replicas and stuff. So if you read the S.D. Perry novels, you would know that what is it? That Irons was actually going to run against Mayor Warren, I believe his name is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
so
I think in the books they changed the name though. Yeah, I think in the books they used a different mayor name.
Maybe.
But in the games though, it was Mayor Warren. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think that those replicas are actually plans on, if he does win, what he's going to do with the city.
Right.
And
maybe we can find some notes regarding to the book of him becoming mayor and stuff. Which I thought, would be cool and shit.
They did do some changes though, like with like the fact that she was in the office and the office was a brand new office and the desk and everything and there was no like stuffed animals.
It almost looked like there was what was it? That elevator. It looked like they were going down to his lair.
Yeah, his taxidermy room.
Yeah, which is really weird.
The elevator was in the old game, as you remember, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was interesting to see. Also, the you remember in the old game how Mayor Warren's daughter, um, was it Amy or something?
No, actually, yeah, I think it was Amy Chan.
Yeah,
The manhwa.
because Chan, I know is something that they added there into the names. So what was different about that is that like in the old games, the daughter was kind of like right there on the table, but in that one, she's on the operating table or some kind of taxidermy table
Yeah.
in the his lair, his basement, his creepy old man basement. So that was different, like changing the lore.
Yeah, that was totally different. I mean, it kind of looked like a library.
Yeah, and there was again no stuffed animals. There was like almost like statues and figureheads and stuff, but maybe, and we didn't see the whole thing. I feel like we didn't see the whole thing. So maybe there's another room that has the animals in it, or maybe the animals are moved or something.
That's too um, important to not to leave that out. Like that room just shows him as like, holy shit, he killed a lot of things. And
Yeah,
I'm not like a hunting hater or anything. I actually want to go hunt this winter, but that just what he kills
right.
is what shows like, okay, this dude might be a bit fucking psycho.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't hunt like deer or anything. He hunts like big game, like
Yeah,
African
like
tigers.
African game. Like, let's see, what is actually in his Iron's office?
Also, there was that painting that wasn't there, and I believe the painting had a switch on it or something.
Let's see. Where's the pictures of it? Okay, so it looks like he has a buck and a oh, what is that? Is that a bull? I believe it is. But they are fucking huge, and he also has an eagle and another bird. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a statue. But yeah, he straight up has like there's none of that in sight.
I like the look of the new office. I mean,
Oh, yeah, it looks nice.
yeah, it's different than the old game, which it's to be expected. That's like I know most people are like, if it's not one to one perfect, like the original, then it's not good. I'm like, no, it's
Nah.
it's fine. It's fine. They can change things, and to some degree, like I'm not looking at that and going, man, I wonder who works in this office. Like, no, it's definitely his office and stuff. It's just they're doing it in a
Yeah.
different way. Um, so I thought that was pretty cool, and I agree with the RPD replica like thing. Maybe it's what they want to do, and maybe there's probably stuff because 1.5 did that.
Yeah.
If you go in his office in 1.5, it had like a model.
The couch.
Hmm. He was such a different character in that game.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking weird.
Like he was like, I think he was like afraid or something. That or he was sick. I don't know. He was on the couch. Like he wasn't by any means like the menacing guy that he was in this one. So
Yeah, no.
the more they show them though, it's just like, this guy's gonna be creepy. He reminds me of like those creepy boss characters that you would fight in Dead Rising. How they're just kind of lost their mind and they're like insane.
Yeah.
That's what they kind of remind me, like the kind of direction they're taking with him. They're taking like some inspiration from like how they did the Dead Rising series a bit. But the thing was, is before Dead Rising, Chief Irons was always a crazy nutball. So, like, you know what I mean? That's got nothing on it. He was always crazy. And in this one, they just kind of, they made him more crazy. So, oh man, he looks good though. You know, for the character.
Yeah, he looks different, but he looks good.
Man, could you imagine like Chris Redfield finding out like all the stuff going on in Raccoon City?
What he did, yeah.
What he did to Claire, he'd be like, "I'm gonna knock this shit out of you."
Like, get that mother, he's already dead.
But if Chris was there, dude, because in the Resident Evil 3, like pre-production, like beta images they never used for the opening, they showed a scene where like Chris, Jill, Barry, and Brad are in there talking to Chief Irons. They're probably like you're yelling and screaming at him. They're like telling him like basically, you know, you gotta like investigate Umbrella. Some really fucked up shit going on out in them woods, and and like just like, and he's just like not listening. And like the one part where they like the one picture where they show Chris, like it literally looks like Chris is about ready to throw a haymaker at Chief Irons' face. So, yeah, if Chris found out the way it was going on, like, he'd be kicking his ass. But, yeah, I don't know. The one thing I know they didn't show, and I'm kind of glad that this is just a side topic that I just thought of. I'm glad they didn't show the STARS office yet. I don't know. I don't want them.
No, that's...
Like, I don't want them to show the STARS office. I actually want that to be a secret, and let me walk in there myself and see stuff. You know, that's like my favorite.
I wonder how drastically it changed.
I know, me too. And I want to know, like, because like in the original game, they only had enough desks for Alpha Team. Otherwise, and Rebecca had a desk in the back, but otherwise, Bravo Team didn't have a desk. So I was like, where did those people work? Like I know Bravo Team was the one that died, but it's like, damn, you're not even gonna give him a desk.
See, with the liquor having a possible reveal in the STARS office, maybe we might get two things in one, like two ultimate surprises, like of what the STARS office is, and then the liquor scene.
Yeah, I mean the early image, like the early artwork and images for Resident Evil 2, and I guess 1.5, they did show the STARS office, and it was a much like bigger office. It was a lot bigger, had a lot more desks. So I'm gonna say yeah. What's gonna be cool though, which I hope they do and like keep it, is like going to Jill's desk and seeing like her beret sitting there. I'm like, oh.
Or maybe some regarding Nemesis.
Yeah, and that would be cool to see, like, too, like, if you remember from Resident Evil, what the heck? Yeah, Resident Evil 2, next to Chris's desk, they had a box. In the box was, the red book and the shield emblem and, like, all the, like, some of the stuff from the mansion. As, like, evidence.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do that, but like that would be so freaking cool. Just the and then of course there's the STARS photo, which everybody wants to see the new STARS photo. And
which I actually think they will hire new actors for, because like I said, they already have Chris, and if they're gonna get Jill, that's pretty easy, and then Brad's gonna be very easy because like we already know that Resident Evil 3 is gonna be in development after Resident Evil 8, so like,
yeah, I mean,
finding all the people is going to be pretty easy. That was in the STARS photo.
There is a belief that like that at Capcom there's two teams, and there's a team that's making like Resident Evil's like 7, 8, and 9, like the next games, but then there's also the remake teams like with H and stuff. So a lot of people are thinking that there's going to be split topics, like while one guy's working on Resident Evil 7 8, the next guy is going to be working on Resident Evil 3 in the background too. So that way, I don't know. That would be so good to know. But oh man, you know there's gonna be people checking Wesker's desk 50 times, and they're gonna be checking like another 50 times. Like they'll check it 100 times. You know.
That picture in there.
I want to know why he had it.
They don't. Because he's a creep.
It's like, what are you doing? Where'd you get it? Creep. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. It's gonna be so dope. I'm not ready to see it. I want to see it for myself, much like the liquor and a lot of that game. There's, like I said, I've seen so much of this game. They've shown so much. I'm absolutely over the moon with this game, and I can't wait to play it. The only thing I ask from Capcom is a demo. That's all. I would like a demo, even if it's like a short demo, just something, so I could play it. Because otherwise, the only way we could play it is at these events. Like if you go to E3 or Tokyo Game Show or Comic Con and stuff like that. So I don't know. So the next topic, if you think there's anything we could add, would be changing Claire's look.
Okay, so people have. This is going to be a very short topic. People have noticed that between the first trailer and the story trailer that there is a large difference between Claire's face. Let me actually show you what I mean. Let's see, RE2 remake second trailer, because I have to be very, very specific. Wait, actually,
I did see
the one that had Claire in it, or was the first one?
It was this. It was the Gamescom trailer. No.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found the picture. So here's what she looked like in the original trailer. Save as Claire 1. Okay. Now, let's RE2 Claire gameplay. Okay. So let's see. This should be it, where she asks if she needs help. No, this was from whatchamajigger, Gamescom.
Okay.
I'm trying to look for the part where she talks to Claire about the "Will you help me?"
Right.
So okay. All right. And I think this is the interview with Hirabayashi. Oh, here. Okay, so where's? Let me unmute real quick. Yeah, can you help me? That's the picture I'm gonna. Oh. Okay, dude, they dramatically changed her. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, but it's to be expected. I mean, like that's game development. Like, they were making the game.
They like basically did what Injustice did with Wonder Woman. It's a complete 180. Let me show you this real quick. So this is from the first trailer, all right?
Mhm.
This is her second trailer. That is a dramatic change.
Oh yeah.
Like in the top one, it kind of looks like she has brown eyes.
Right.
On the bottom, she definitely has some baby blues. Her lips are different. Her nose, her skin tone, it's a lot more peachy, paler. Let's see. I think there's a color difference with her jacket. I think it's a bit lighter.
Yeah. It looks. Yeah, there's even maybe a slight design change with the button. There's like a button on the top near her neck, which I can't make out. And the other one. Yeah, she does look different.
They are right. Holy fuck! I was just thinking maybe it's just a facial change, but no, they actually like straight up fucking changed her. Holy
Yeah. No, they went into it. I mean, they said that they were taking a lot of criticism for like what fans were saying, what everybody was saying about Claire and stuff like that. So saying how like they hope people were happy and stuff with the changes that they've been making. And that just goes to show you, it's like they say Capcom doesn't listen, and maybe that was the case back then. I agree. You know, maybe to some extent, yeah, they really didn't listen. But now they're listening. They're listening now, which is good. You know, they're, you know, as I know they're a company, and it's like they need to do what they want to do, but at the same time, they want to make money. So, you want to make money,
Excuse me.
it's right.
But
They need to listen to their fans. So I'm glad that they did, you know, take that into effect, and they, like, you know, and they put the Made in Heaven on the jacket and everything. Like, I'm glad that they're listening. It's good. It'll pay off in the long run. If you listen to us, we'll give you money. That's how it works. You know, there's always gonna be some people who are sticklers, and they're not gonna, you know, buy up immediately at first, but I think this is a project that everybody can get behind, and everyone is going to love, and they're going to support the hell out of this, because we've been waiting in a small eternity for it. So
yeah.
it's like a dream come true. It's true, like lightning in a bottle kind of shit, you know, where you get something you totally didn't expect you'd ever get. So I'm happy to see that they're listening and they're doing stuff. And again, it's changing Claire's look. I know Claire, there was a lot of people that mostly loved Leon and how he looked, but Claire was still someone that like it was split, you know what I mean? And it was more, it seemed on the, like, they need to work on this character. I haven't seen a lot. I don't know if that looks like Claire, all that stuff. So, but, and the voice work, I love the voice actors, everybody that they've gotten. And I think, you know, I think I said this in the previous podcast, how, you know, Allison Court will always be Claire Redfield to us and a lot of the fans, but the new actress that they got is doing a really beautiful job. And like when I listen to it, it sounds like, you know, in my mind, you know, how I would think she would sound like if, you know, they remade it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Leon's cool. He sounds like a young Leon. He looks like a young Leon. Sounds like it.
His model, Edward.
I'm not even gonna go there because I think he had a.
Edward looks like an actual looks dead ass Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they probably did some modifications, but like when you look at his Instagram pictures, it's actually like, yeah, he looks like Leon.
I think that's Capcom's thing. That's their big thing now. It's like, obviously, Capcom is on their redemption arc, as Maximilian dude said, which I totally agree. You know, kind of fixing their mistakes and bringing back their fans. But I think what their goal now is going forward is realism. But definitely finding that sweet balance between, you know, science fiction and reality, you know, in case of Resident Evil. Because if they make it too real, then, you know, no one's really going to really gravitate towards it. But if they take it too crazy, then they're not going to like it. So you need to find that middle point, and I think they're finding it with this game. And, yeah, so I'm happy with how everything looks so far. I cannot wait to, really cannot wait to play this game. Every time they show a trailer, it's like they're just dangling something in front of your face. They're like, here it is, but you can't play it. It's like, I want to play the freaking demo. So, please, Capcom, if you're listening, please, I want a demo. I think I can speak on behalf of like everybody who knows about the game and wants to play it. That we want the demo.
What's next? Oh, the Claire and Sherry interaction. Where let's see. The first time I noticed this was at Gamescom when they secretly got the game leaked.
Oh yeah.
So she Sherry was talking about her mom and dad, and Claire said, you know, oh, it's just me and my brother now, and you know,
my dad.
She says something along the lines of, you know, at least we have something in common. Like, that's actually really cool that they're gonna actually
converse.
Actually,
yeah.
Yeah, they're making the characters have conversations.
Yeah, I mean, because we love these characters. We want to know more about them. Just them hearing them talk is just like yes, keep going, keep going. So um,
Yeah.
I like what they were doing with Claire and Sherry. So as far as like talking interactions, um, and it was interesting because Claire kind of said something in regards to the old lore of like Chris and Claire's parents and how Chris and Claire kind of like they raised each other at a certain point because their mom and dad died
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And she's like, oh well, I can relate to that because I don't have any of my parents and and I was like, oh, it's like damn, definitely But it was cool because they acknowledged that part of the lore, and that is something that they don't talk about a lot. They do not talk about Chris and Claire's parents. So it was cool that they brought that up, and you can feel like the drama. It's like they're going
Yeah.
back and forth, and she's like, oh, my mom and stuff like that, and then she says, my dad, he's just gone. I'm like, damn, you know, it's
I mean,
serious.
it's 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 pretty awesome that now we're getting more story interactions with the game and characters and stuff. It makes them actually feel a whole lot real. I
Yeah.
mean, fuck. When you're playing Resident Evil 4, like, when does Leon and Ashley ever interact and shit? Like,
Occasionally they do, but
well, like, dabbling in on their past and stuff.
oh yeah,
Like, there's none of that. Like, no story on that. But now it's like, well, let's make it more story driven. So let's talk about some stuff that might actually interest the player within this world.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a term that is thrown around a lot in the industry, which is world building. And that's what they're doing. They're taking their free, iconic franchise, iconic characters, and they're remaking them, and they're adding things, and they're adding in more facts, and the characters are talking more. So you're finding more and more about these, characters that we never knew about, or was maybe only
Yeah.
hinted at or something, but they're actually like bringing it to light. So I think that's great. So if the Claire and Sherry interactions are anything to go off of, this game is going to be amazing, for the fans, and we're going to get a lot of cool interactions between, Leon and Marvin, and Leon and Claire and Marvin, and just like all the different characters interwoven together. And I can tell the Leon and Ada parts are going to be really cool too. With Ada like having her new personality, like a little bit, like how they're kind of changing her around. Even though, again, it's like she does have a little bit of a different personality, but you can't help but watch that and go, yeah, that's Ada. That's how she is. Like, cause as much as she is serious sometimes, like in the other games, like she does have that little cheeky personality where it's like she'll, you know, help Leon, but she'll totally like leave him screwed. But like at the end of Resident Evil 4, like she gives him the keys to escape, but she takes the virus, but she only leaves Leon like a little bit of time to escape. So it's like, well, I can't save you, but that's up to you. But I did leave you something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just
So that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be really
um
really cool.
let's see.
Extended cinematic scene.
Yeah, our second to last um subject. The extended cinematic scenes of the of Claire's gameplay. What I mean by this is we there's actually more video of Claire and Sherry. There's more of an interaction. There's extended conversation with the two of them,
Mm-hmm.
and also there's how do I say this? With how Claire and Birkin get into the fight, they just showed him just try to hit her with the pipe. No, he actually tries to punch her, grabs the pipe from the floor, and then just starts uh or And then after that, she falls down, grabs her gun, and then gets ready to fight Birkin. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's very 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 different.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I like that they do that. Like they'll show trailers and they'll show you pieces of the trailer, but then you get to see where in that game, like how they got to that point. So it's like it's not so disjointed. So it's like, oh, so they go through the door that leads down to the basement, and that's how they, you know what I mean? Like, I love when they do stuff like that. They kind of show you how it all fits together. Um,
Yeah.
it's that was cool, and I think they did that with Leon's stuff. I think. Oh, I want to say something. I just remembered. I was watching a gameplay video of the new gameplay video of the developers playing Leon's section, right? And
Yeah.
um, this was so freaking cool. You know how you can go outside the RPD
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and the build that we've seen of them going outside the RPD, like there really wasn't much out there.
Yeah.
Well, in the build that I seen, obviously it was the Tokyo Game Show build. Um, there was now zombies at the front gate trying to get in.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah, they're like there's like four or five of them, and they're at the gate, and they're like shaking it, and they're like putting their hands through, and like they're trying to like break in, and that there's another section. I forget where if they went the other way, like to the left, but they did go to the right, and they still left the body bags like on the ground, and then there was another area that was boarded up, like with boards, and oh, I can't remember where the hell it looked like it led to. Oh, okay. Do you know that part where that they showed where the basketball courts were and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The dog photo.
Yeah, it looks like it led to something like around there.
Yeah, there's actually a parking lot like on the left side of it.
Right. So like
So
that wasn't there in the E3 build, but it was there in the Tokyo Game Show. And the zombies weren't there in the E3 build or the game even the Gamescom build, but they were there in this one.
yeah,
And I thought that was so freaking cool and stuff like that. So I had to say something about that because I was like, oh my god, like they put zombies outside because that's what I thought was weird was like when people would go outside, just how like quiet it was. It was like there's nothing out here, like there's nothing. The other game, like there's people walking up towards the gate, like they're just like trying to get in, like you know. So I'm glad that they added that and stuff like that. I don't know if you can shoot them, but they're there. They're there. They're hanging out. So I was like, I thought that was so neat, and that just the attention to detail is right there every time we see this game, and just you find little things that they're adding in, and it matters. It makes it feel like as much of an old game as much as a new game. So yeah, I thought that was awesome.
but I mean it's all pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the level of detail that's in Resident Evil,
Yeah,
Resident Evil 2 remake. It's really amazing like how much detail they can put in like just one game.
I know. They're making
It's
this
weird.
like they're taking this thing, man, and they're shining it up as much as they can. So it's like the shiniest thing in their library. Like they're really taking the time to polish this game. And a lot of people said that about this game. They were like, you don't see that very often. Like, you know what I mean? Like you'll play builds of the game and there'll be like bugs or glitches or
Yeah.
stuff like that. They said no. They're like when we played this game like was quality. This demo, like it was almost like you swear it was done. So that's really a testament to just really amazing game design and just them taking their time and not rushing it or anything like that. They are not rushing this game at all. I can tell that. So I can't wait to play this freaking game.
Yeah, me either.
Just cannot wait to play it. Um, so I guess that leaves us with the final topic
Yep, our final subject.
of the evening, afternoon, whatever it is. By now.
You want to say it or?
No, I want to leave. I want to leave that up to you because it was your. I mean, I was involved and helped and stuff like that, but it was your project.
Yeah.
So if you want, yeah, go ahead.
So, on my channel, me and Distant have, actually, there's three people within the project, including me. Me, it was originally me and, Proxy One Creations. Um, he's big on making music, on his channel, but, with, um, with his talent and just my ideas and my content creation, we actually have been remaking uh, the music to the old Resident Evil 2 original, but remaking it into the style of Remake 2. It's been a it's been a long process, a very very long process, but we are almost to the point of being done with it. Um, we have one song left, and that's the Marshalling Yard Part 2. We are at this point about 50% complete with that song. Um, we're actually going to be playing the Marshalling Yard Part 1 on the at the end of the stream, but this project I brought Distant along
Yep.
because I know how much he loves the history of um, Resident Evil.
Yep.
So he is actually going to be a voice within my newest video explaining the music theory behind Resident Evil 2 remake. And trust me, it's once he delves into the history of it, the history section of it, it's gonna blow a lot of you away.
Yeah, I'm primarily talking about the original soundtrack and everything and how that was made and everything, and
Yeah. So
in relation to the new game too.
we God, it's so weird because like we've been working on this for at least a good 2 weeks. Um, because I knew that you or he like Distant has known about this known about this project because like we basically start it originally was the three of us, but I let Distant in on the information that we have. He has heard every track of the
Yep.
of the of our mixes. And trust me, once we actually make the video, it's gonna be pretty fucking awesome.
No, no one's ever done anything like this before, and
Yeah,
to this
no,
level.
I mean,
This is great.
people have like remade Resident Evil music, but no one has like remade it to the style of Resident Evil 2 remake. It's fucking amazing. Like let's see, we got what 5 tracks. We have 5 fucking tracks made. And depending on how well the reception is between the tracks, like the video can be fucking shit, but as long as like the music part of it is good, then me and Proxy are thinking about remaking more tracks,
Yeah.
and maybe even to the point of remaking it to the point of, how do I say this? Having all the songs remade and actually making a PC mod so you guys can listen to our tracks while playing the game, which I think would be very very awesome.
But I've heard all the tracks so far, and they sound amazing. Sound amazing.
And Distant has also seen the process of us making the songs too. We have a lot of nods to the original soundtrack with also making our own thing. And also, we've done some weird experimentations that actually have worked. Like,
But the original soundtrack did experimentations too, so it's almost like you're doing what the developers
yeah,
did.
doing the same exact thing. Yeah.
I mean, the first floor track, um, that had a door slamming, like in like the middle of the track, like you're listening to it, and then like it goes all like weird, and then boom, like a door slams, and
Yeah.
then it continues on, and I remember right when I heard that song back in the day, like what the hell was that noise? Like I thought it was something in the environment, but it was just the music, kind of fucking with you a little bit, while you're playing. You're like, oh, you just added to it. So I thought that was really awesome, and these guys definitely have done stuff like that too, in their own way.
Oh, you can keep on going, bro.
It's quite a feat to do, and it's in its own way. And like I said, there's no one out there that has done it before. These guys are doing it for the first time for the community,
I mean,
and
it's pretty awesome too.
and
Like,
it's an important thing to do, and stuff for a very important reason, as far as like the series, because this is a brand new game, and obviously that means there's a brand new soundtrack. They are getting one of the original composers. I believe it was Uchiyama-san. They were getting.
yeah, Uchiyama, yes.
Um,
Wait, hold up.
because Masami Ueda is not returning, and
Composer.
I don't think it's I don't think it's Shun Nishigaki. It's the other guy.
Remake composer. Shusaku Uchiyama.
Yeah, Uchiyama-san. They're getting
That's
back.
the composer of the remake that they brought in. But I also think they have two other new people in that are working on the tracks with him.
They might. They might. I mean, it's Capcom sound team, like internal.
Yeah, it's definitely them.
It's Capcom's internal Japanese sound team, and then they have Uchiyama-san, backing it up, and he wrote the soundtrack with Ueda-san and Nishigaki-san, and you know, I know there's a fourth composer too. He wrote one track, but yeah, I mean, they got one of the original guys. So, with that said, this being a new game and a new soundtrack, a new approach to the game, which again, the game mirrors the sound mirrors the game. They're doing things, in an interesting way, and they're doing them differently than they did before. But this is very much his vision, and what he wanted to do if given the chance. And
It definitely is.
this video project of sorts that survived Kombatants is working on with Proxy and myself. It's a great opportunity to, for the fan base to, I don't know, learn about the music behind this iconic game, but also to appreciate what they're trying to do with the new music in the new game. And there's a lot of people that really like the new music, but there's some people that have said that they don't like it and they're bashing it and whatnot, and I don't think that's right. So, granted, everybody can have their own opinions. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can use the old music if you get the deluxe, which, I mean, I'm playing the game the first way with the new music, and then I'm going to go back and play it with the old music. But I think one of the reasons people are kind of like stuck on whether or not they like it or not is because they don't understand, and they don't understand what they're doing, and the fact that they are still respecting the old music. They're just doing it in a different way. So I think this video is going to be a really great treat for fans who love the game and the memorable music, but it's also a way for fans to see the process and how they're possibly going about doing this new game soundtrack. And you'll hopefully come away with a better appreciation, or at least a new understanding as to how they're doing this.
Yeah, and I mean, we Ada's theme was actually pretty fucking awesome because I explained to Distant like the process behind making Ada's theme. We wanted echoey so it sounded like it was in a garage slash sewer when
Hmm.
you meet her. And it's like, if you actually listen to it, it's definitely in the style of remake. Um, we let's see, the Wreckage of a Mad Experiment was something that we wanted to sound like an actual lab song. And then the let's see, the Marshalling Yard Part 1 and 2, we literally did by ear. Part 1 was mostly proxy. I just gave him like what 4 notes, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Let me check. I have the Marshalling Yard. Okay, so yeah, basically I just gave him 4 notes, and it's a cool idea that I had inspiration from Mick Gordon, and Distant absolutely knows what that fucking inspiration is. Um, to use a certain sound effect and glitch it to where it is sort of recognizable and at the same time
Mm-hmm.
not. It's fucking creepy as shit, but
Yeah, it's
I
very
can't wait.
disembodied. It's just, it sounds just like, damn, like where the hell nightmare world you pull this from? Like it's jarring.
I can't wait till the till it's done. Distant is having a voice. I believe Proxy is actually going to be explaining how he made the marshalling yard.
Yeah, that is
Because
gonna
I
be
think
something to talk about.
yeah, I basically like made a lot of the templates. He basically made it on his own, but I basically just made a template on what notes we should use. Any notes that I can play on the guitar goes into the song. So like any piano notes that's not a roll, that's staying in the that's staying in it.
But yeah, I mean, the first
Other
time
than that,
the,
it's yeah.
the first time Survived Combatants told me about this project, I was incredibly excited. And I'm still incredibly excited because I can't wait to see, when it's all ready and everything to go. And I'm still working on my part for it too as
Yeah,
well. But
we're
it's gonna be
one
amazing.
more week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. I actually could
one
use a
one or
week.
two more weeks, and we should definitely be good
I could
for
use
the
that. So that's music. That's music to my ears, pun intended.
yeah.
Um,
Because like I said, we're still 50% on the last track. Like this, we've been just so busy with me having work. Proxy has work, has a lot of stuff to do. Um,
I got work
we
myself.
It's been hard since I have the free version of FL Studio. So like working on the songs and can't open them back up, and for him to save it on his profile and send it right back, it's a fucking hard process. So
Yeah, we're taking one
but trust,
for the the fan base here. We're no, we're
yeah.
making that
Oh yeah.
sacrifice.
And trust me, it's gonna be amazing once we actually show you what the Marshalling Yard Part 1 actually sounds like.
Yeah, and you guys picked
So
some.
yeah.
They picked some really great tracks. There's gonna be tracks that people know and remember, and then you got tracks like the Marshalling Yard, which is both both memorable tracks, but they're also to me a very like hidden gem on the soundtrack. They're just amazing songs, and they're very underrated when compared to a lot of the known tracks, which are still
Yeah.
amazing. But Marshalling Yard is a great choice and an amazing choice to cover. Especially both tracks. Like it's not like you're just doing part one. It's like no, you're crazy and you're doing parts one and two, but you're doing it right because you're doing parts one and two. You know,
Yeah.
they go hand in hand with each other. They're like brother and sister. So they go together nicely. So I think it's something that the fans are really really gonna enjoy, and I know I'm freaking excited. I am so freaking excited. But yeah, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be coming out soon.
I really want there to I'm so excited. And then like I said, we are playing the Marshalling Yard Part 1 after the track. And apparently I think we have two versions of it.
Yeah, I know the
Um
one. The only one I have in the thing tonight is the one that you sent me.
Yeah. Which that's the one we're playing, but I think Proxy has a different version of it.
Oh boy.
Um,
Well again, that's
so
just because something to add to the video. So the video is gonna be amazing. I
yeah,
I would
it's
expect a big video. I would expect a big video with this. Once it's done and ready,
expect like 20 minutes at
it's
least.
it's gonna be. But
God, that's
doing
gonna
it proper.
fucking ruin my hard drive. Making it 1080p and shit.
It's gonna be great.
Uh,
It's gonna be great.
it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say. We are working on the video. It's Distance almost done with his shit.
And I know I'm
I'm
working
almost
on some other secret projects for the channel. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
yep, working on the
Forgot about
thing.
that. Wink, wink.
Yep, working on quote unquote the project.
Yeah, something that is brand new to the community,
Yes, no.
entirely new.
Um, I'm working on a project that the Resident Evil community has never ever seen before, or should I say, heard before. It's very much my own thing. It's a massive undertaking to kind of, and a little bit, crazy to do, but it's something that I've wanted to do for so long, and it's something I think the fans are really gonna enjoy. But again, it's coming soon. It's happening slowly. It's gonna be uploaded in pieces because to try and think that I could do the whole thing all in one go and then upload it would be insanity. So I'm gonna split the insanity by pieces or in pieces. So it's gonna be released in chunks. So yeah, we have the Distant Voices podcast. We have this secret project um, in the works, and anything else going on between me and Survived Combatants and
That's-
anything else. That's of course secret too, but who knows?
yeah.
Who knows? Just all we can say is expect just awesome, amazing content coming soon, and we hope that you guys enjoy the podcast because we enjoy making it. But yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's all for this evening.
Mad.
I'm gonna start the marshalling yard part 1, and then we're gonna end out with the outro. But I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the music, and just thank you for all of your support. And of course, thank you, Survived, for taking time out of your day to,
Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Absolutely. You did a great job on everything you've done for my channel, and the thumbnail, like image, like for the episode here with the blue and Ada and everything, like it came out amazing. It really, really did. As always, you do like some of the best crop out works I've ever seen. So
Thank you.
I got a good guy on my team for sure. But without ado, till next time. Have a good one, Survived.
See you, bro.
All right, music time. So this is Survived Combatants and Proxy One's brand new Resident Evil 2 remake, like restyle of Marshalling Yard Part 1. And till next time.